What's going on, everybody? Let's debate. The world's a better place because you are here to join us. My name is Matt Brown, and I am the host of the Productive Conversations podcast. And it is early May 2025 as we are about to have an important debate and then going to have a podcast where we list off and tell you what in this world is underrated. This is the underrated episode of the Productive Conversations podcast where we will go over different subjects and point out to what's underrated within those subjects. And we're shining the spotlight on the overlooked, the underappreciated, and the straight up slept on. From the most underrated frontmen and front women in music to athletes, rappers, restaurants, TV shows, all that stuff and more that deserve more love. It's time to name and honor those who are underrated. So get ready for a productive conversation on what's underrated in this world. And I got Ryan, Jose, and Allison to discuss what's underrated. What's going on, guys?
How's it going, everybody? I
Hello.
like that.
Going.
The underrated podcast. I like that. That could be a
Yes,
spinoff.
for sure, for sure. And let me tell you all, we will do the overrated podcast in a couple of weeks. That I promise you. And we'll do these same subjects, but what's overrated. So we'll wait for a few weeks for that. And just want to remind you, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to the Productive Conversations podcast on all podcast platforms and YouTube. And don't forget to check out exclusive content regarding the show across all social media platforms. We're on Instagram at Productive Conversations Podcast, X and Twitter at PodCobblePod. We're on TikTok at Productive Conversations and Facebook at Productive Conversations. And as always, we want to thank our great friends at Magic Mind, as Magic Mind is cooking up a new promo code for us that I will present at the episode description below. You could check out. But if you want 48% off your first subscription or 20% of your first one-time purchase on these amazing Magic Mind products, which are these elixirs to enhance your memory, focus, and attitude in life, go to magicmind.com/PCMay. That is magicmind.com/PCMay for 20% of your first subscription or 48% of your first one-time purchase. Thank you to Magic Mind for having our back. Magic Mind, reclaim your brain. So, the idea I got for this podcast is for the first subject that we're going to do that I will announce shortly. I was going to the gym as I have a certain routine, when I'm on the treadmill or the elliptical. I was watching this particular concert and I thought, man, this particular person is very underrated on what he's doing. And I can't wait to can't wait to debate on it with friends and family. Oh, and we have this platform I can debate on it too. So that gave me the idea to do the underrated podcast. And like I said, we will continue the tradition. So I'm excited to hear what you all have to say. I presented the subjects with my fellow compadres here. And as long as they did their homework or at least realized right away what I'm about to ask, is going to be great. So again, Ryan, Allison, and Jose are on the call. You ready to debate what's underrated in this world?
I
And
overthought
Indeed.
this way more than I should have, guys. I literally have all day been like looking and reading, like at work. Someone's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "It's fine."
great. I like that. I like that. Well, let's get into it. Let's talk and let's have some fun. So, the first things first, the first subject of what's underrated in our world. Who is an underrated frontman or front woman of a band? And I'll go first. You know who's an underrated frontman?
Who?
Fred Durst from Limp Bizkit.
Oh my
Yes.
God.
And I'll tell you why. He's very charismatic, a legitimate stage presence, can rap, can move a little, even as a white boy. And that dude knows how to work a crowd. I was watching the famous Woodstock 99 set list amongst controversy, I know, but that dude really knew how to get that crowd going. And it was up to them to what they do during those riots. But he himself, they didn't have to listen to him, but he was still so good. He was able to make those people go crazy. And I saw him also recently at Lollapalooza 2023 where in the crowd, while he looks like Santa Claus or Albert Einstein, he asks, "Who here is born after the year 2000?" And almost that whole crowd raised their hand, and they were still going crazy for Limp Bizkit. So debate me. My man was able to make Gen X bounce around, and he's even making Gen Z bounce around while on tour with Limp Bizkit. Come on, tell me I'm wrong.
His
Well,
name's Biscuit.
No,
the
the
band is
band is
Limp
Limp Bizkit.
Bizkit.
The
Oh
frontman, the
man.
underrated frontman, is Fred Durst.
Hands up or hands down.
Yeah,
He
see?
sucks,
What do
dude.
you mean he sucks?
He sucks. The band
This is what I
sucks.
did. This is what I'm going to do to piss people off. That is the thumbnail
He
for this video.
sucks, dude.
How
I'm
does he
so
suck?
much against that. Listen,
Okay,
the
I'll
last
listen.
thing you said, right, was true. He can work a crowd. He can work a crowd. I do not believe you could say with a straight face that he's a solid rapper. I think anyone who's listening would agree with me. And it's not because, well, at least he's a good singer. He's not that good. I think he's a fine singer. He lyrically, his songs are horrible. I'm assuming he wrote them, but either way, either he can't write songs or he can, and he came up with the Nookie. Um, I no, I mean he had the one cool kind of iconic concert, which is what you've clearly latched on to at Woodstock, where he got the crowd to do a riot, and that was impressive, but not musically impressive. That was just a feat to see him get a bunch of people hyped up. I think Gen Z liking him is kind of like how they like Creed now, another band that is appropriately disparaged in my opinion. It's like it's post irony. Like people started liking it as a joke, like, "Oh yeah, I like Limp Bizkit," and it happened so much that these young kids didn't catch the memo, and so they feel like they're supposed to like Limp Bizkit. That's genuinely what I think happened. Again, same with Creed. There are kids who like Creed, and it's not because Creed is good. It's because their like older brothers pretended to like Creed sarcastically, and the joke didn't register with the younger kids. So I disagree wholeheartedly. If anything, he's appropriately rated. Underrated, I simply do not agree with.
How can you not think these lyrics like, "I came into this world as a reject, look into these eyes, then you'll see the size of the flames, dwelling on the past, it's burning up my brain. Everyone that burns has to learn from the pain. Hey, think about the day my girlie ran away with my pay when the fellas came to play. Now she's stuck with my homies that she fucked, and I'm just a sucker with a lump in my throat." Right off the bat. Right off the
Something
tongue
did, I
easily.
didn't rhyme at the end, but that's fine. Also he used girlies. There was random pauses in there, and people are
I
gonna
did it
think
all
that
for the nookie. Come
I
on, the
know
nookie. Come on, so you could take that
you could
cookie
take your cookie and
and stick
shove
it
it
up
up
yo.
your.
Stick
Yeah,
it up
I
yo.
know the words to
Stick it up
Nookie.
yo. That goes hard.
It does not go hard.
Yes, it does. Did you saw it? Literally, like I
Also,
said,
but more
25 years
importantly,
later,
but
25
more
years difference. He
importantly,
could get that crowd bouncing.
Matt, more importantly, and I know we can't play it, so I'm going to tell everybody to pause and listen to the song as he performs it. In the music video is fine. The lyrics are not hard, and even if they were hard, the way he delivers them is
That got me pumped.
horrible.
I did some PRs that day. That's how pumped up I was.
I guess.
How
Maybe
about on
rolling.
a wrestling? How about when the Undertaker pulled up and he was able to do
Worst
rolling?
Undertaker. Worst Undertaker.
Best Undertaker. He had to beat two people.
Ready? Best Limp Bizkit. That's true. Rollin' is the best song they've ever made, which isn't good. It's just better than the other ones. And then what's it called? Worst Undertaker because he picked Limp Bizkit. So that there you go. That's the way that works. So his best song created the worst version of a particularly talented wrestler. So
You
there you go.
gotta admit though, he could work a crowd.
Yeah. Oh, I offered that as my
Yeah. Oh
concession
yeah,
right
that's the
away.
first one. Yes, like you said,
Yes.
it's not easy. That's not easy. So
No, it's not. It's just also isn't the main thing you need to do as a front man.
well, we do have a lot to do, so we can leave that there. So next, between Ryan, Alyssa, and Jose, you tell me who's an underrated front man or front woman.
Who you got? Anyone have one? I don't want to just jump on.
I got one.
All right, let's hear it.
Jonathan Davis from Corn.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
As we continue the
No,
Woodstock
that's a good
99
one.
tradition. Yeah, he really can.
That's a good one. I actually do like that because he's again not my cup of tea, the music, but like you can still respect the artistry that goes into it,
Hmm.
you know?
And he killed it during the same time as Limp Bizkit in that whole era, and then he just like they completely fell off. But they still make music to this day. Unlike Limp Bizkit, where they took like 10 years off.
Good, because they needed a break, and that's okay.
They needed a
Mm-mm-mm.
break, and that's okay. No, I do think that's a good shout. And again, same time period, different genre, but
Is it really though?
That new metal.
yeah, I would say it's a little different. I don't believe that they were swimming in the same pool. You know what I mean? Like they
Mm.
were in the same time period. So I guess
Right,
overall it was the same listener pool, right? But I don't think it was the same. Like I think that there's enough separate fans of the two. Like all right, somebody who Limp Bizkit was actually in like I want to say competition with, but like in the genre of is like a Kid Rock, who
Mhm.
obviously not underrated. He's obviously very much appropriately rated within that genre, well above Limp Bizkit.
Mhm.
right.
And so I feel like Korn is kind of like separate. I think like the Offspring, I feel like is kind of with them too. Whereas like Korn felt different from all those other groups, even on that Woodstock show. Like think about that Woodstock show as an example, right?
Right.
Korn did feel different, in my opinion, watching it, many years later.
Yo, really
Allison.
thinking
Oh,
back of
sorry.
thinking back of that Woodstock, Woodstocks were fucking amazing. That
I
lineup.
mean,
On a music standpoint,
sure,
Yeah.
yeah, it was,
Oh
it was a
man.
yeah.
Oh,
nightmare if you were there in person, but
right.
the
Yeah.
But the
musicians
music
were
was,
good.
yeah, exactly. I always thought it'd be a good movie that they could do if they recreated that set and did a 2 hour feature almost or
Oh
one of the
yeah.
nights in real time and they could
Mm,
figure out a story like there,
yeah,
like one of those nights. That'd be cool.
that would be cool. No, I would watch that.
Hmm.
Allison, who's an underrated front man or front woman that I hope you picked and not the internet?
I literally don't know. This was like the one I really struggled with. I feel like I don't listen to bands like that.
That's okay.
Like every person y'all mentioned, I don't know who they are. I've never heard of them. Like
It's all
I
good.
have I
the
have a feeling that
biscuit
will
guy
continue.
looks like my ex-boyfriend who wants to be a wannabe rapper on
The
SoundCloud.
biscuit
That's
guy.
He
literally,
looks like, you know who he looks like, who the
except he's
vibes I
white.
give off. He gives. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
He reminds me, Ryan. He reminds me of Dave Portnoy for a weird reason,
I could see it.
right?
I could see that, yeah. I don't
But
think they're very similar, but I can see like physically where that
yeah,
would come from, yeah.
and getting like frat boys hyped,
Oh well, yeah. I mean, I
and
guess
that's
that's
it.
the same too, right? But I think Portnoy's just a little bit more talented, and you know me, I don't really like Dave Portnoy. Like, I can't stress how much I don't like Limp Bizkit. It's really, really important that everyone takes. If nothing else gets learned, it's that I don't like Limp Bizkit. I want that to be clear.
I love Lip
Uh,
Biscuit. We'll see.
That's all I'm gonna listen to now.
We'll definitely see how the thumbnail works. I figured that might get
I
some
mean, it's
riled
fine.
up.
It'll get me wound up. I'll say something. Um, I guess it's my turn. So I had written down Paul Westerberg of The Replacements. They're a band from the late 70s and the 80s.
Hmm.
I think most people would know them from their one really big I want to say one really big hit, but their one recent hit, and it wasn't even because of them, but they were in the Rock Band video games. It's how I heard of them first. And then I went back and listened, but the song is called Alex Chilton, which is actually about another famous frontman who was slept on, named Alex Chilton. But yeah, I mean Westerberg obviously he wrote the song, so that's a great song. He performs well. He's got a very I would say I almost think of it as like a not Jim Morrison. No, yeah, Jim Morrison from The Doors, almost like a kind of quality to his voice. But he wasn't the only singer in the group. The Replacements had more than one singer, so it's kind of hard to stand out when there's two different frontmen. But he was one of them. I think he was the superior of them, and so that's one. Everyone listened to The Replacements, and two, yeah, Paul Westerberg. He's a great frontman. He's got that intangible quality in his voice that's hard to kind of capture, and people don't talk about him or the band enough.
Good stuff, Rod.
Is he really underrated? Nobody knows who the fuck
Yeah,
he is.
I don't know who's
That's the
that.
point.
I know
He's
the
Wasn't
band.
it
underrated
I've
just the
because
heard
guy
of the
he
was?
replacements, but I don't
No,
know who the hell they
yeah,
are.
but I'm saying
yeah,
underrated.
that's what I'm
It's like you
saying.
say his name and then it's like a debate, overrated, underrated. Motherfucker, I don't even know who he is. He doesn't even exist in my books.
But that's what I'm saying. He should be rated much higher. He's a very, very good. I mean, think about it. Everybody knows who Morrison is, right? From The Doors. And I just said, at least to me listening, he's got a Morrison-like quality to his voice.
I
I,
think
I
everybody.
think that he should be more in that conversation in terms of like that, just that unique voice style, the deeper lyrics. And it's not like deep, like sad deep. They're kind of, I don't want to say avant-garde, but they are. Like, I just feel like there are people who do something similar to him around the same time who got really big, and he did. And I mean, there's no real reason for it. That's just how it happens sometimes. But that's
Right.
kind of why I'm like he's underrated because like other people did similar stuff around the same time and were like super big, and he had the one song which everybody heard because of Rock Band like 20 years later, and
Right.
not the one song. He has a couple other songs with the replacements. But in general, that's kind of why it's like he just had far less commercial success than a lot of people who were doing stuff very similarly around the same time. So that's kind of where my underrated
Do you think,
thought process is.
you speaking of John Morrison, do you think he's underrated or overrated?
I mean, I think he's appropriately rated.
You want to know why I go underrated? Because most people nowadays only know him for A, he died at 27, and B, Val Kilmer played him in a goddamn movie. Like nobody talks about his damn like his music.
I
How
guess I could see. I won't spoil. I have someone on the list that Matt gave us and a different category that
right,
actually fits identically into that line of thinking.
right, right.
But I think obviously Morrison is, I mean, at the time, certainly at the time, and then for a long time after, he was correctly pointed as a visionary of rock and roll music because he was. And you want to talk about a frontman who could do whatever and make a crowd follow along, it was him. He could hypnotize a crowd. You can watch old like studio clips of the Doors performing and the crowd would do whatever he wanted. Those women would scream when he wanted them to scream. They'd shut up when he wanted them to shut up. They would do whatever he wanted. And it was men too, but it was obviously he had a lot of women following him. So I think that for that reason he's appropriately rated because I think people, whether they talk about it or not, people know the Doors and they know how important they were to music. You know,
We're not doing underrated acting performances, but one is Val Kilmer,
Val
the
Kilmer
late,
in that, yeah,
yeah, rest in peace.
yes,
When they do the 5-to-1
hmm
sequence,
yep.
that's just, I think that's exactly what you mean. It's badass.
Yeah, no, he's Morrison was great, and I think at least for a long time people knew that. Maybe not as much now, but I do think that Westerberg had a Morrison trajectory that he never got to reach.
Nice. All right, so give me your underrated band now, not singer, but band.
Yeah, so didn't pick the replacements. Uh, I picked a group called the Chambers Brothers. Please tell me someone's heard of them.
I've
Nope.
heard of them. I don't know any of their
No,
music
Oh,
though.
come
who is the
on,
Chambers
man.
Are
They're
they
from
Brothers?
the
the Chamber
60s.
The
Brothers?
60s. That's
Yeah.
how I thought you were gonna give me an indie band from Brooklyn with that
No,
one.
Chamber
no, they're from
Brothers?
the 60s. They were literally, they were two black guys, I believe. I mean, there's more than just two people in the band, but the two main brothers. And they had, there's this big song. It's a song that I think a lot of people would know. It was in Scandal, so a lot of people have heard it from that, but it was a good song. It's called The Time Has Come Today. They did an 11-minute version of that song, Eat Your Heart Out, Taylor Swift. And it was like a revolutionary song at the time and it kind of felt like, oh yeah, these guys are gonna be, whatever. And they got really into like their all of their lyrics, including that song, were obviously very socially conscious. It was a very difficult time for the country in terms of social issues. They were not afraid to tackle those in their music, and ultimately, I think it cost them more stardom that some of their contemporaries who were just a little bit less vocal ended up getting. And so I think, had they been around today, right, and doing the same thing, they actually probably would have been praised for how often they spoke about important issues. So yeah, Chambers Brothers, again, great songs, one great hit, felt like the beginning of an awesome career, and then they just, they were never given a chance to follow it up.
Clearly. Mhm.
I'm gonna add this song to my list and listen to it.
Time Has Come Today is a great song. You don't need the 11-minute version.
Oh, there's
That's
just a four
mostly
minute. That's fine.
okay. Yeah, that's mostly just instrumental and stuff. You can find that on YouTube if you're really interested. But the regular version is fine.
An underrated band is Rage Against the Machine. You know, if we're gonna stick with these
Underrated.
band, yes, I think they only had 4 albums in the late '90s. I
Hmm.
think Zach De La Rocha is in general just a great rapper. You could put him in
Yeah.
underrated rapper.
What is up with you and rappers today, Matt?
I love hip hop. I love hip hop a lot. I'm a very big hip hop head. I think they just got some badass songs, very even though very political songs,
Hmm.
a very liberal band, but comes out kind of breaks almost that stereotype that some people might think of liberals in a way, liberal men, I should say, liberal straight men.
Hmm.
And I think that's a cool way that they break that stereotype. I liked how they stood up for what they believed in and good pump up music, really. It's very dude rock, I will say that, but I'm sure girls like that stuff, some of their songs too. And also with an underrated guitarist, Tom Morello, an underrated drummer,
So
Brad
good.
Wilk, and an underrated bassist in Tim Crawford, Tim. His name's Tim. And yeah, I think they're all world class musicians too, and they can pump up a crowd with hundreds of thousands of people I've seen, both recently during their reunion tour and in their peak in the late '90s.
Mm.
So and they're Rock and Roll Hall of Famers too. So I think that says something. So yeah, Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah, I mean, I think my white dude is showing because in my mind I'm like, oh, everybody loves Rage. I have so many Rage Against the Machine songs on my Spotify. Township Rebellion, I listen to that like bi-weekly, just for no reason. So I think maybe that's why I was surprised to hear you say that because I'm like, everybody likes that, but I guess probably not, right? Like you
Yeah.
said, it is a bit dude rocky, but they're better than that. And then, I agree with you.
My next.
Yes, yes, just go. But you could just
I
go.
didn't.
We'll,
But
we'll
I'll
put
take.
the
next?
subject in there.
Okay, I'll take Motorhead.
Ooh, that's actually kind of a good one.
I
Like
say
the only
properly
reason
rated.
no, because
The
the only reason
ace of
people
spades.
They only
the
have
only
two
people.
songs: Ace of
Are
Spades,
you
and
serious?
they got Ace of Spades for the mainstream, and the game if you're a
They
wrestling
got more than
fan.
two songs, but Ace of
You
Spades is a
definitely have
really good
more.
song.
I don't know what
They
songs then.
Oh my God.
Ace of Spades alone is a great song.
They
You
did
could
like
give.
three Triple H songs, my
Well,
dude.
yeah, yeah. They had three for Triple H alone.
They had Evolution. They had the game. They had the King of
Evolution is
Kings.
a mystery.
And you're trying to tell
Yep.
me they're all garbage? You're bugging, Matt.
I didn't say they were
So,
garbage. I just think
well,
Question
they're
for you though.
whatever. I don't think they're a
were
bad band. I
those
really don't.
were those all
Actually, Motorhead, or were they just what's his name, Remy or Lemmy or the
No,
lead
they're
singer?
all
Lemmy.
they're all they're all Motorheads.
I could picture
okay,
Jose at a
okay.
concert with people 50 and plus with their leather jackets,
The Ace of
tattooed up.
Spades.
Well,
Jose just going like this.
they're my peoples.
I mean, they're a good band. I think that you have to like that kind of music, though. I feel like that's harder, right? That's hard about music in general. It's like if you don't like a certain type of music, you're never gonna.
I mean, I'll give you another band that's not rock. 98 Degrees.
I'm just not don't know some of their songs, but I
You
know
think
of them.
they're
They're
underrated?
underrated.
I don't know any.
Compared
You could do multiple picks if you
98
want. If you,
Yeah, I have multiple
I'm
for a
gonna do
few. Yeah.
multiple for a few.
compared to they were going against NSYNC and fucking
Oh,
Backstreet Boys.
I mean, yeah, they did
that is
lose,
hard.
but I
And
would
they got
put.
number one hits.
I know. I guess I would just, in my mind, it's because Nick
98
Lachey
degrees.
is not Justin Timberlake. In my mind, is the problem.
Right.
You know what
Nick
I mean?
Lachey is
Like
such a pop singer group name. The
Nicholas.
Lachey's.
The shit, yeah. Well, Nick Lachey, the lead singer of 98 Degrees, is like an actor and TV host now. I don't know. Maybe
He's
that's
more
me
into
looking
Love Is
at.
Blind.
I know that. I think
Hmm.
maybe it's because of that. Like I know him more from like being a TV host. So the
Hmm.
idea that he was even in the same conversation as like, you know, Justin Timberlake is a little silly. But I guess at the time, right? You
Yeah,
never,
well, he also
could have
had
gone
the
the other
girl,
way.
yeah, Jessica Simpson for like a couple of years and smashing that.
Well, I don't know that I would use that as my rationale for why why they're a great band because Nick Lachey was dating Jessica
Smashing
Simpson.
Jessica.
Jeez. Allison, who's your underrated band?
I don't. I said this so they were big in like the early 2000s. So I feel like everyone else's are like old, but whatever. Um, the red jumpsuit apparatus.
Oh
Ooh, I like
yeah.
them. They
Yeah.
are
That's
underrated a
very a
little
New that's
bit.
a very New York girl thing to like.
Oh, really? Their song Face Down was like my
Do
favorite,
you?
like
I
when
hate the
it
way he says
dropped.
that.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
No,
I
I like
never even
them.
heard of them.
I
It's
just
a
heard the name, but I couldn't tell you what their songs were.
face down in the dirt.
That's a
He
really good
says,
song.
this doesn't
Ryan.
hurt.
Kind of
No, it's
like
a good
early
song. I
early
just,
abusive song,
I could see it.
but
I could see it though.
no, it's literally about like an abusive
No,
relationship.
I know, I know that. I know that. I'm saying them as a band, like, yeah, I guess there was like when you look at like them in like Mayday Parade or
Mayday.
whatever, is there a reason that people listen to Mayday Parade still and nobody listens to anything but Face Down? I don't know.
I
I
don't
guess I
know
don't know
what
enough
Mayday
about their
Parade
back
is.
catalog, but yeah, I could see the underrated tag. They were doing what everybody else was doing at the time, right? So
All right, tell me your underrated rapper now.
A Boogie with the hoodie.
Oh, you need to
I
stop.
knew
In
someone
a
was going to
way, I
say
can
that.
see
I
that.
really did.
He
Compared
should
to
be
like,
much bigger than he is.
yeah, he really does have some very good songs. I'll
Yeah.
give you that. That's a good one, Ryan.
No, that's it. Like, yeah, obviously people know who he is. He's well past his SoundCloud like early
He
days. I will say I
should
listened
be
to
on
him on
Travis Scott
SoundCloud.
level.
I think well, yeah. I mean, I think that he's got Hitmaker written on him in a way
Yep.
that like Drake does, and but he just isn't. And I don't know if it's just too new, crowded scene, different tastes right
I feel
now.
like
That I
people
don't
confuse him
know.
and Playboy Cardi a lot, like that type
Yeah,
of vibe, and Lil Uzi,
right.
like in there.
But
That's
yeah,
a
I
good
think
one, Ryan.
he is a mainstream. There's a mainstream star in there somewhere, and I don't know why it hasn't been tapped into by anybody like in the industry yet.
I personally want to go last because I got to explain this one. So
Okay, okay.
Allison or Jose.
Um,
You fucked me with a boogie, but
Good work, Ryan.
Thank you.
um, Nippy Hustle.
Nippy Hustle. Okay, okay, I give
I
you that
Uh,
mean,
one.
if he didn't die the way he died, would anybody really listen to his music or
No,
even
they
care?
would. No, they
that's what I
wouldn't.
was gonna say.
No, with all due
I
respect.
I don't want to be get in trouble because people really like him, but I feel like best case scenario properly rated, and I would just leave it at that for that personally. But
Good
Hmm.
one. How about you, Allison?
um, I s- I said I said Tech Nine.
Tech Nine.
interesting.
You listen to Tech Nine.
I
Tech
That's a
Nine.
WWE rapper.
I do. What?
Well, he was with Eminem too in
Yeah.
like
No,
Fastlane.
that's
No, that's
Alden
Roy's the
Wasn't
Trice.
9-5.
That's Royce the 95.
Which was Tech Nine then?
Tech Nine's a West Coast rapper,
Well, I
hardcore
don't know
rapper.
where they live. I don't know any of their
I don't know
addresses.
where they live.
Which one's all right? You keep talking, Alice. So I'm gonna go
Yeah,
look
I'm
go
up
ahead.
Tech
also
Nine.
there's one I'm trying to think of. He's from Alabama. He like reps
Bubba Sparks.
who?
Bubba Sparks.
No, he's what?
He's
He's white and he
white,
has
fat.
tons of tattoos.
Yep.
No,
Bubba. He's not
I
fat.
what's
mean,
his
is it Jelly
name?
Roll?
No, Yellow Wolf.
It's Yellow
Yellow
Wolf. That was the
Wolf.
other one I had too.
Now
I like
that's somebody
him.
who stinks. I'm sorry. I don't like
You
his
don't
song
like
music.
Yellow Wolf?
No, corny ass rapper.
Well,
Bubba Sparks, though.
who?
My
Didn't I
opinion.
pick him for our white hall? I think I picked
Yeah,
him
he
for the
did.
white rapper Mount Rushmore a couple episodes ago.
Yeah.
Wow. That went over
I was
my
like, I
head.
definitely just talked about Bubba Sparks on this show recently.
I got one. All right, let me explain this. They're both serious picks. One could be a joke, but if you really think about it, he can rap. But this one, in terms
Mhm.
of like truly like the greatest rappers to ever live, I don't think this guy is on that top tier of like the GOATs. Maybe to a certain generation he is, but when I really look at his discography and I was listening to music all day, it's like, man, this dude can fucking perform. And one of the reasons why I think, I don't know necessarily hurt his rap career, but he became more known as an actor, really, and that's Ice Cube. I think Ice Cube's low-key underrated as a rapper. Like, he
Oof.
really could go in the, like, one of the greatest to ever live. And Snoop Dogg actually once said that once. Not stealing his idea, but and when I thought this when during the World Series when Ice Cube performed at the at Yankees Dodgers before that game 2, and even though I obviously don't want the Dodgers, like, man, this dude is awesome. And then when Fat Joe just shit the bed and embarrassed the entire East Coast, like, that really made me. I was like, wow, Ice Cube should be rated amongst the greatest of all time. Tell me if I'm right or wrong.
Definitely.
I didn't
agree.
think Ice Cube's performance at Yankee Stadium was that good.
At Yankee Stadium, well, he
No,
didn't
you're
perform at
talking
Yankee
about
Stadium.
you're talking
Or
about
Fat Joe, yeah, he wasn't that good. Fat Joe's terrible, and he's probably why they lost. Fat Joe curse.
I don't know about all that.
that's crazy.
But yeah, Ice Cube should be. And then my other one, like, he legitimately can freestyle. His songs, his on his one album, they are legit bangers within there. And he's done random ass features with people like Wiz Khalifa. I'm serious. John Cena is an underrated rapper. Like,
rap?
John Cena legit has good songs. He has one of the most
fuck?
iconic. I'm not wrong. John Cena can rap
Is he on Apple
and
Music?
he can freestyle.
I mean, yeah, actually, he does have an Apple Music. When I was looking up the white rapper Mount Rushmore, he was actually fairly high on like IMDb's ranking.
Yeah, like, I think he's the only person to debut at #1, have a platinum album, and never rap again. That's saying something. That's a true fact.
He was a wrestler though, and it was, you know what I
By
mean?
curiosity, and then people are like, "Wow, he could
Yeah.
actually perform," you know?
You know that
Maybe.
you know
Yeah.
that people bought his stupid CDs just to get his autograph, right?
No, I
It
was
still
like 10
counts,
when that
dude.
happened. Exactly.
Still
John
And
counts.
Cena.
still people love his stuff.
You want to know funny? I do have John Cena's album, one and only album. You know why? Because he had it autographed. That was it.
Well, me and Ryan got
means you
autographs
bought
from
it.
him too. So it
And
doesn't
I didn't even
matter.
buy the album.
Actually,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
that's
There's a
really funny.
me and Rhett
I
literally
can't
20
find
years
that
ago.
picture. Yeah.
I
Hey, look,
I have that picture.
It
I'm sure
doesn't
you do. I'm
sound
sure my mom
bad.
has too. Which song did you
Like,
pick?
My Time Is Now is an iconic
The time
American
is now.
song.
Is
Oh yeah, that's
That's
That's an
what I
iconic
picked.
American song.
That's
Beyond
what
an
I picked.
Entrance.
Word Life.
That's legit a 2000s classic.
Bad.
The line "I'm untouchable, but I'm forcing you to feel me" from Word Life is like, I think that's a pretty hard line, to be honest with you.
Yeah, exactly. Or in any weather you're better. You're in any weather you're never better. Your boy's still hot.
Something like that. Yeah.
What?
He has a couple of pretty good lines in there. He's clever. I will say his lyrics are clever.
I love the song Right Now too. It's legit one of my favorite songs ever. Like, you could put that so many montages.
Right now, you said?
It's literally called Right Now. I could probably play it without a copyright infringement. Whoever holds that. But
I think WWE owns that.
Oh no, no
WWE.
copyright then.
WWE. Like, Right Now, not the fucking One Direction, Akon, Van Halen song. There's a lot of right nows.
Akon one's pretty good.
And with his right hand man, the trademark. Hilarious.
I'm learning so much.
I like it. And there's just this one line.
Got to expand beyond Taylor Swift, I guess.
I also, like you said, Ryan, with he has this lyric. Excuse me for a minute while I lighten the mood. Just clap with me like the lightning do. That's a good one.
That one is not as good as the one I pointed out.
They're all good, man. They're all good. But
They're
you're
all
proving
good.
my point in the fact that he's an underrated rapper. All right, give me underrated food. What food to you is underrated? It doesn't get the love it deserves.
Cheese curds.
Cheese curds is gross, and I love
Oh,
mozzarella
that's
sticks.
Wisconsin.
See,
That's
this is my
Wisconsin.
thing. The reason I say it's underrated. So everybody here in New York is like, mozzarella stick this, mozzarella stick that.
Mozzarella sticks.
But it's like cheese curds are just like you can beer batter them. You can like do a bunch of different things.
Mm.
You
There's so
could
much
probably
better.
beer batter a mozzarella stick if you really
Maybe,
wanted. Isn't that just
but
a mozzarella stick? You know what I mean?
I don't know.
You just, yeah, mozzarella string cheese in batter is just a mozzarella stick.
I like cheese curds better than mozzarella sticks. I said what I said.
Uh, Better than mozzarella sticks.
I do.
Like the in the batter with the marinara.
Yeah.
No. That's not right. That
No.
ain't right.
Have y'all had like real, I guess maybe you just have to have like the Wisconsin cheese. Like
I've
maybe
never had Wisconsin cheese, but I have gone upstate New York where there are cows and farms, and I've had cheese curds up there, and it's not good enough to make me forget about mozzarella sticks.
I didn't say forget about them, but
I don't, but not good enough to be better than mozzarella
they're
sticks
better.
either. I disagree. Matt, Jose, anyone want to defend the cheese curd with Allison, or is this gonna be
Nope.
3-on-1?
It's 3-on-1.
We're all from the tri-state, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
one that no one will defend as well, Allison, and it's Irish soda bread.
What the
I
fuck?
saw that on the
I
British
love your
baking
answers,
show.
right? Irish soda bread.
You've never heard of Irish soda bread?
I've heard of it,
No,
but I've
I
never
saw
had
it
it.
on the British baking show. They had to make soda breads.
Yeah, so Ireland, like it's a very unfancy bread. It's a staple of St. Patrick's Day, right? And so growing up Irish, the Irish don't have a lot of like iconic foods. This is like one of like three. It's like shepherd's pie is the other one. No, but
Which
Irish
is
soda bread
gross.
is great.
Sorry.
I don't like shepherd's pie much either, but like Irish soda bread, you can toast that in the morning with like some coffee, right? You can have it
Soda
after. It's
bread.
like, yeah, you
What do you
put
just pour
jam on
Pepsi
it.
on it? On a loaf of bread?
No. The soda is what's it called? It's from the baking soda, but or whatever like that you use when you make it. But no, it's like there's not like a lot of yeast in it. People a lot of times say it's like dense, but again, you can make it sweet. You can, have it in breakfast in the morning. It's not great for like a sandwich. I wouldn't put like deli meats on it because of the, like the raisins and stuff, but you could. It is bread. I don't know. It's just very versatile. We always love it. I think people who don't really celebrate like St. Patrick's Day, like beyond drinking Guinness for a couple, hours, probably don't know much about it though, which is why it's underrated.
Okay. Okay.
These are weird. I was just gonna go with egg whites.
Underrated.
I
feel
think
like
those
those
are
are
appropriately
overhyped.
rated.
Yeah, I think they're
How's
appropriately
that
weighted
appropriate?
too.
Who the hell ordered egg whites?
A lot of
Except
people who are
if
trying to
you
get
go
healthy.
of them
gym.
in big things that everyone buys.
I mean, they have no taste, but
Yeah, they suck to be clear, but people.
yeah, exactly right.
God.
My
So
God, they don't suck. That's why it's underrated. Everybody
Good.
says that.
you
There's
Egg
no
taste
whites are
egg
taste.
whites?
amazing.
You
What
actually
is the
taste
taste
Egg
of egg
whites
white?
with like an avocado and like everything bagel seasoning is so good.
Sure,
That's true.
yeah, if you cook with it.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
that's
That's extra.
different.
Isn't that an
You don't just
avocado
eat
egg
an egg
sandwich at
white.
that
Yeah,
point?
at that point you
Who
like
has
avocado
Oh, you
soda
thought you
everything.
bread
just
by
drank
itself?
it from the
Soda
thing?
bread.
Like,
No, you make eggs with it. We understand that, but I'm saying, what is the difference between egg whites and eggs, taste wise? Eggs taste better. They're just not as good for you. The egg whites are just a healthier alternative. That's what they're there for. They're literally meant to just be a healthier alternative to eggs
Okay, so my
for making
food,
things, right?
underrated food, is my personal favorite food, and I think more people should bow down to this food, and it's calamari or
I love
calamari.
calamari.
Like a
Those
lot of
are
people love it.
underrated.
I'll just explain. Like it should be on the level of pizza good. It should be on the level of burgers and chicken. That's how much people should worship this food.
What
I
the
don't
fuck?
know. That one's hard because
Allison left, so we'll see. I'm sure she'll come back. But you're saying?
it just I like calamari. That's fine. My grandma calamari, right? But it's just I can't really see it like a whole family eating a tray of calamari like a
That's
pizza.
amazing.
I just
Every
don't see
Christmas Eve
that
for me.
happening. I just don't see that happening outside of like a
Wrong.
special event. But like Friday night, everybody, oh, let's get pizza. It's Friday. Let's get a tray of calamari.
That
It's
sounds amazing to
Friday.
me.
I just don't think it works that
Especially,
way.
I know a restaurant's good when they have a calamari meal, calamari and fries. That's good for me. Or you,
I want fried squid and fried potato, and I want
That's
them next
right.
to each other on.
That's right. That's right. Let's go.
Yeah, I get calamari every appetizer. Any fancy
Mhm.
restaurant I go to.
I get
So
calamari
good.
at diners.
Me too.
I
Whoa,
love
that's
that.
dangerous.
Exactly.
Me too.
Dangerous.
Calamari at a diner.
That's
No.
right. Whether it's the Post Road
So
Diner
good.
calamari or the
No.
old Penny's Diner calamari.
Penny's Diner? No.
Yep. Yep.
No calamari from Penny's Diner.
They're
I don't know,
really,
not
they
for
just
that creepy place.
yeah, that's why no one goes anymore. All right, tell me an underrated song now. An underrated song. What's a song that slept on?
I didn't do
Allison,
it.
you're first.
I didn't.
You didn't
What
do
happened?
song?
I didn't
I
do
did.
it.
I got two, but I don't want to go first again.
I'll give one. You know what's an underrated song? There's two. I get two.
Go ahead.
Behind These Hazel Eyes by Kelly Clarkson. That shit bangs. You know, loving me and spitting me out.
No,
For
I know the song. I
hating you,
just
I blame myself.
Exactly. Great song. Great song. And then I also like Open Arms by SZA. I think that's another slept on song with Travis Scott featuring.
I think that one's a better pick. Not because I disagree with the Kelly Clarkson being a good song. I don't know. I feel like Slept On and Kelly Clarkson don't really. Everybody knows she's a fantastic singer. Everybody knows her songs are always good. I feel like she sings other people's songs better than they do most of the time. You know what I mean? Like
Really?
Really,
I just
really
feel like
good.
any Kelly Clarkson song is hard to be slept on. You know?
I don't think a lot of people like Gen Z respect give her the love she deserves though, but I know what you're saying.
Well, who cares about them? They like little ducky quack or whoever. That's all they care about.
All right, I hear you.
So I had two. The first one's gonna sound like a joke, but it's not. And if I could only pick one, it's the one I would pick. Feels, like I do, is performed by Vin Diesel during the COVID era when he decided to be a singer.
I have no
If you
idea
have
what
not
that
heard
even
him,
is.
you've never
Feel?
heard Vin Diesel sing?
I didn't know he had a song.
No.
So it became a meme instantly because, of course, Vin Diesel having a song is funny objectively. Listen to the song. He fucking kills it. It's not a hard song. I won't pretend it is, but he does great. The song is one of the catchiest, like earworm songs you can possibly imagine. It's literally one of my favorite songs possibly ever. The other one I had is one that you probably won't know, which is why I didn't start with it. I wanted to start with Vin Diesel, but it seems like none of you knew about Vin Diesel having a
I had no
song.
idea, bro.
Yeah, it was on. Hey, you know who was actually know where he debuted it? The Kelly Clarkson show.
That's how you know.
Yeah, he debuted it during like COVID era on the Kelly Clarkson show. But and then the other one is a song called "Be Somebody." It's a Dylan Francis song, but he doesn't
I don't
sing
know
it.
who that
Some
is.
other singer, some singer nobody knows is the
I'll
singer
take
of
your
it.
word for it. I don't know.
Listen to that one. That's the one you should Google if you're actually interested in the song. But definitely listen to Vin Diesel's only hit song, "Feels Like I Do." It is a great song, and I say that literally unsarcastically, unironically. I like a Vin Diesel song.
Cool.
I didn't know. Interesting.
Yeah, see? It feels like a made up thing, but it's real. Vin Diesel really got bored during COVID and made a song. Like that really did happen. Made an album actually, but only one song was any good.
Um, this one I guess kind of leads into later though, so I'll just wait.
That's fine.
Oh, it does. Okay. The song "Work" by Charlotte Day Wilson.
I don't know that one.
Who's Charlotte Day Wilson?
That's the only one I haven't known so far.
Who's also my underrated
Is
female
that
artist.
Taylor Swift's opener or something?
No, no. She does some music for the show Euphoria actually.
Oh,
Oh, I see.
that's gonna be spoiler. That's my pick for overrated TV show.
You need to
And I will
stop.
fight. I will fight. You know, I will
You
save
need
that
to
debate
stop.
For next time, yeah.
You people,
Because
you people like
stop.
to. You people really like to depress yourself with terrible acting, filtration. Where I'm watching, I might as well watch a blank screen, can't see shit, and
This
the day is
guy's
passable.
disrespectful.
Disrespectful. Oh my
Can't watch
God,
it in the
again.
daytime. You won't be able to see the TV. I actually
Exactly.
do agree with Matt on that.
I'll debate you
It's
in a couple
just a
weeks on
black
that.
screen with noise if you watch it
It's
anytime
like,
before
high
like
school. I'm like,
7
I want to
p.m.
die. Blah, blah, blah. Man, I don't know. Some dumb stuff. But we'll debate that in a few weeks. But
Jose, you're gonna say it's underrated TV show when we get to
Yes,
that?
uh,
I'll
anyways,
debate that.
you're
Underrated
nuts.
song, "My Time Is Now" by John Cena.
Underrated.
Underrated. Underrated.
It's
Yeah.
underrated. Nobody gives a shit. Only if you're a pro wrestling fan.
And they should, because it's a great
Fine. I get
song.
you there. Yeah, I get you. I'll give you that one.
Do, do,
If
do,
you're not a pro
do.
wrestling fan, you're not gonna go look up a goddamn John Cena or play that
a
shit in
song,
your
a
car.
song that's
But
called
they
"My
should.
Time
I'm
Is
That's what
not.
we're saying. That's what we're
I
saying.
really
That's
It's
not.
underrated.
underrated.
You're right,
Yes,
Jose.
thank
I
you.
once looked up the actual sample, and there's this jazz beat that does the doo 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 doo
Yeah, I've heard that before too. Yeah.
from like the 70s or
Yeah.
something.
Another underrated song, "Boats and Hoes" by Will Ferrell.
Oh my god.
Underrated? I feel like that's
I
properly
think
rated.
that's properly rated.
Not enough
Another
people
one
are
I
just.
didn't use, "Love Me Sexy" by Will Ferrell's underrated.
Yes, that's the better Will Ferrell song. I actually, so someone I was talking to the other day was telling me about Bill Russell, who's a player coach guy, right?
Yeah,
And
one of the
I
greatest.
said, and I was like, okay, and I again, yeah, right. Well, and so they didn't really know anything. There was they had just learned who this was, and so I asked her if she had ever heard about the greatest. I said, one of the greatest. Have you heard about the greatest player coach of all time, Jackie Moon? And so we got into a conversation about Jackie Moon
The
of the Flint Tropics, and I couldn't hold
Flint
it,
Tropics.
could not hold it together when we got to the part where I explained that he stole a song from his mother.
All right, good
And that's
stuff.
when it became clear I was kidding. But yeah, no, for Will Ferrell songs, that's the most underrated.
How about underrated athlete? And this
All
is in
right.
any sport.
Yeah. Tony Parker, next question.
Tony Parker.
Tony Parker.
Yes.
All right, Jose, why is that
I
wrong?
could think I could agree with that.
Tony Parker?
Bro's got like 4
underrated.
rings.
Dude, yeah, dude. But he
I
was
think
a part
he
of
won
the...
obviously the whole Spurs dynasty is underrated, but they were just so damn boring.
Yeah,
They
but
weren't bad, but I'm just saying, you know
Oof.
what I mean.
Yeah,
when you
but
think of
Tony.
that
Okay,
dynasty,
I, my problem with the
6-time All-Star.
I think he's rated a chord because if you take him out of San Antonio, he has 0 championships.
yeah, but that was kind of the magic of the San Antonio, is that it was kind of similar to like, I mean, honestly, it hasn't been similar to anything in a long time. The whole team was the star, right? Like when you think of that team, you don't think of
I think
any.
that's not true because you think of Tim Duncan. Without that
If
anchor,
it
he
no, I
ain't
think
winning.
if you if someone said you have to pick the star of the Spurs dynasty, you say Tim Duncan by default, and he was the best player on the team. I'm saying that every single one of those pieces matter. You have Tony Parker, you have Manu Ginobili, got Kawhi Leonard, who was not what he ended up. You know, he ended up being obviously
They
something
did win in
totally
the
different.
late 90s too. There's really
Yep.
spanned 2 decades.
Yeah, I again, Greg Popovich is obviously a key part of that dynasty, right? I think that because it's a dynasty, it's more impressive. It's not just a group, 1 or 2 all-stars to pick a city to win a championship in. It was a team that built itself up to
Yeah,
be a
San
dynasty.
Antonio, Texas.
Yeah, San Antonio, where what's his name? Charles Barkley's favorite city. And then but then you have the fact, like, be point guard. A lot of times, that's the leader. That they're the person who leads the team out on the court. And I just don't think that he's so far down on the list that even if you try and dive into the dynasty, people don't put him in the right place in terms of where
I
he
get what you're
is.
saying, but my point is, you can. The problem with him being underrated. Could I move someone else and still win a championship?
I would argue that if you moved him out
It's,
of San Antonio, they wouldn't have been the same
could I
dynasty.
could I could I get Steve Nash and put him in the lineup? Could I have Steve Kidd at the time
I
and put
don't
him
think
on the
so.
line and win it?
That's what I'm saying. I don't think you can do that with any of the
Oh
players on that team.
Jesus!
That's the point of the team. It wasn't, oh, I've got a good point guard. It was, we've got a good team. He was the team leader, and I think that for me, that's why he's underrated.
he's not given his due as a team leader on that
You
very
know,
good,
you know
you
who
know, Spurs
underrated.
team.
If I were gonna stick to basketball underrated, I will go Grant Hill. What could have been, what
Mhm.
should have been. He's not rated as a top 10 forward, but because of his injuries,
Mhm.
that had happened. I think he's underrated because when he was on the floor, he was nasty.
Mhm.
To
I
me, is
agree. No,
that.
that's a good one. The
But
injuries ruin
Do you
that.
want to
Yeah.
get what's your real pick?
I gotta come back. I was thinking about that. You gotta give me a minute.
Okay, no problem. I was gonna say Moses Malone on a historical standpoint is underrated. He's a top 10 scorer of all time. He won Finals MVP. While a lot of people think about the peak era of the Sixers in the late 70s, early 80s, they might think of Dr. J, but Moses Malone really was his other guy. And he too was a baller. And honestly, because he portrays himself as a clown in this world, Dennis Rodman really is an underrated for being a basketball player. He made the
Yeah.
75th team, the greatest rebounder of all time. I think he won a couple best defensive players of the year awards and some all NBA teams, whether it's second or third. Won championships both in Chicago and Detroit.
Mhm.
He's just so damn crazy. People don't
Yeah,
realize he's
you
actually one
forget
of the
about
best
that.
NBA
And
players of all time. So those are
spent
my
too
two
much
picks
time.
there.
Spends too much time in North Korea.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, similar to like Jokic as NBA basketball is his hobby. I feel
Yeah.
like Dennis Rodman basketball is a hobby and just being crazy is more
Like
of his
you. Yeah,
pastime. You
like
know
you.
what I mean?
But yeah.
WWE or WCW, I should say,
Yeah,
icon.
champion. Yeah. Wasn't he champion?
Was he the
Did I make
champ?
that up?
Yeah, maybe.
Arquette was champion.
Rodman?
Arquette was champion for sure. I
Rodman
don't
was
know if
not a
I'm.
damn champion.
All right. Well, he was on
I
there.
should have. The
Yeah,
way
he's better than
WWE's
freaking
going
David
now,
Arquette.
we're going to get a
Uh,
new random athlete win the
Rodman was
title.
too busy fucking Carmel Electra to be world champion. You guys are crazy for that.
I feel like a lot of people
We
have more
were we were
time,
like 3 years
even
old when that
yeah.
happened.
But
I didn't
also,
see
like,
that.
just every time you talk, Jose, someone's too busy with intercourse. I feel like you can do both. You know what I mean?
Not at the same time. You
No,
didn't win a
well,
world title.
you never know with an OnlyFans account what's possible. But I'm saying that, in general, I think you can do one thing and then finish, and then do the next thing and
Well,
then finish and go
you're
back to
gonna
the first
finish them
thing.
both off. No, Rodman
Well, that's
gonna
what I'm
do
saying.
both at the same
Different
time.
time. Well, I don't think you can do that. But Kim Jong Un, maybe he's got a way. Who knows? Please don't hurt us.
Ryan, who's an under? Oh wait, did I?
I
Who
started
you
with
go?
Tony Parker. I
Yeah.
do have another. I have a football player, but we don't have to go
Sure, we
into
can hear
them.
that, and then Allison and Jose.
What's that? Antonio Cromartie.
Antonio
Cromartie?
Cromartie,
Yeah.
underrated football,
Yeah, Jet. He was on the same team
Oh,
as Darrell
Jesus.
Revis.
The
like
man
underrated, like he
is
should be in the Hall of Fame.
All
Underrated,
right, no,
or
no, 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 no. I'm not talking about a Hall of Famer who's not going to get his due. I'm saying he was on. He was a really good player on a team surrounded by like standout players, and so like his production on defense was not looked at the way that it should have been. He was a big part of the Darrell Revis defense. But everybody obviously focused on Darrell Revis. Then Ed Reed came in, and obviously he's a standout as well. And so you just kind of forgot about Cromartie. So that's
interesting
why I
pick,
picked him.
Mr. Page.
Again, not an all star, not a Hall of Famer. I'm not talking it from it like, oh, he should be so much bigger. I'm saying like at the time, he was a big part of a defense that people just kind of glossed over when they were talking about the shinier objects like Darrell or Ed Reed.
Interesting. Okay, Allison.
Okay, so mine, he wasn't very good. So I'm not saying he's like a Hall of Famer, like underrated person, but Jim Abbott.
Jim Abbott.
That's very specific.
It is.
Jim Abbott is the only multiple Super Bowl champion to not be in the Hall of Fame, but he's actually similar to Eli Manning. He won 2 Super Bowls with the Raiders.
Oh, I was
He
talking
actually
about
was
the
a
baseball player.
Oh, Jim Abbott. Oh, I thought you said Jim Plunkett. Jim Abbott. I
Oh.
mean, yeah, he had one arm and he made the play and he made the
Yeah.
throws.
Oh,
And he
he
never
had
pitched in the minor leagues, like nothing. But so
oh, Okay,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
In
One
the in
arm?
the
Yeah,
yeah,
with
he
one
threw
arm.
a
He played for
no-hitter
over
for
a
the
decade in
Yankees.
that
I'll give you
big
that.
leagues with one.
I never
hand.
heard of
I
him,
guess
but
more people should talk about that.
he
Yeah,
threw
you
a
never
no
knew
hitter
that?
with one arm.
Oh,
All right, he
seriously, he
slept
really
on. I'll give
did.
you that.
He
He
really
slept
did.
on. I'll give you that.
All right, good one. Good pick, Allison. Jose,
Yeah, we're gonna go Reggie Bush.
Reggie
No
Bush,
contact, like Reggie Bush. I don't know what song that is, but it's
like
one of them.
as in the NFL, his
Yeah,
NFL.
Reggie Bush got a bad rep after that whole fucking taking the money shit, and then his
Well,
career went down the shits after that. But really, this he was really good.
I
Won
feel like
He
even though he
ba- he
was
championships.
really
really
good
he
though,
really
right?
barely stayed on the field,
Oh,
but
He was very good though. You're right, but
he did get one All-Pro, so that is impressive. Obviously, he's a great all-time great college football player. All right, Jose, I'll give you maybe if he focused more on
college.
maybe if he had better focus in his pro career, he could have done it. Because definitely the first team All Pro in '08 is impressive. So and then just decline after that. So interesting pick, Jose. I'll give you that. Good stuff.
Or Tim
La-
Tebow. How about that one?
okay, no, he is properly rated in the NFL. Got
properly
straight
rated.
lucky.
Yes, properly rated.
Um, now wrestler. Hope we didn't pick the same dudes, Ryan, Jose, and whoever
I don't think
else.
we did.
Oh,
I picked
Jesus.
the Raven.
The Raven.
Raven. He is underrated. No, I agree with that. You looked
I
him
was
up, but
doing
he's
my
definitely
wrestling
yes.
research.
Good
You
job,
definitely looked him
Allison.
up, but he
So,
is underrated.
thank you.
I'll defend that if you want.
Well,
Ravens
you-
flock, ECW. He's an
Yeah.
ECW original. You
Yeah.
could argue that everything we've seen with Paul Heyman and the influence of ECW, that Raven is just as much a part of all that as ECW is like Raven's playground, and he was in everybody everywhere else too. And in fairness, he did the same shtick but worse every place he went. But in ECW, that thing worked, man.
You want to know the funny thing is, I'll give as if you were gonna do underrated ECW, I would say Raven, but in wrestling in general, I think he's where he's supposed to be.
I could see that. I could see that
Like
argument.
I
EC,
I
don't
when
could
know
you
what
go to
see
that
it, but I
EC,
could
means.
see that
I
argument.
don't
so
think.
ECW when you like it was a like back in the like 95, 96, it was like
Right.
the alternative of wrestling was more hardcore and stuff. Back in the day when if you ask somebody EC like name people from ECW, you'll get Taz,
Right.
Sabu, RVD,
Sabu.
and the Dudleys. You'll
Dreamer,
never
the
hear right,
Dudleys.
you'll never hear Raven. Raven's always
Right.
like the 10th pick.
But
But
he was an anchor for that show.
he was the best villain. Like
Yes.
he had the best storyline in ECW. The one
Raven's
you
flock was awesome.
the one you cared about was always
Or the
Dreamer
nest, whatever he was called.
Ravens. But once he got out of ECW in that little ass pond and went to WWE EC and not WWE and
WCW.
WCW floundered. Like he
Even
was very
TNA, he wasn't very good. He was
he
older
was
then.
mid card. Like they only
Yeah.
kept him in the mids, and he was never a main eventer. He was never even thought about being a main eventer. So once he got back down to ECW, he was like a god.
He could
So
have done it though. I'm still with Allison. He could have done more.
I think if he had the opportunity, if he stopped fucking hanging out with Shane McMahon, he could have got more in WWE. But
I want to know who you picked, Matt. Truly.
Shelton Benjamin.
Ooh, it's a good pick.
Shelton Benjamin should have been a world champion. He'll still get that on AEW. He's letting it known he wants to be, but in his prime, bro could ball or well not ball wrestle.
Yeah, he should be an AEW world champion. I think that works. I don't know that WWE champion was ever actually on the cards for a lot of reasons. Some of them not his fault. But
Yeah.
yeah, no.
no,
That super kick,
he had it. If that match with Michaels, he
that
was
super
so
kick, yeah.
over. It was
Oh yeah.
just so over to
That's what I
the
said.
point you could tell like if he had the right storyline and he
Yeah.
could have had a little more charisma, it would have got him to the heavyweight title.
When they strapped him with his mom, though, that was basically the end of it.
Yeah, it was he was done after that. I was gonna go with Muhammad Hassan.
Ooh.
Muhammad Hassan.
Italian American wrestler, Muhammad Hassan.
Let's get two things right. When he was in WWE, everybody hated him. He was over off the rip.
He was
Over
gonna beat the Undertaker.
until that 9/11 and all the terrorist bomb bullshit happened.
It wasn't
All
9/11.
that
It was
it
the
was the
London
terrorist
bombings.
London bombings. when that happened and they
Here did the same day.
Channel
Same
9
day, yeah.
came in and bullshitted, and then they had that fucking whack storyline with the Taker at the end. Like he was a champion. You could tell they were gonna go with it, but then Vince
Yeah.
McMahon
They
just
He
unplugged
was going
the
to
whole
beat
thing.
Undertaker for the championship.
Yeah, he was gonna
WWE,
be
the
world
heavyweight
champion.
title on
He
SmackDown.
was over. You think about in his short career, he had fucking a WrestleMania with Hulk Hogan. He had a fucking feud with Taker. He was going against the who's who, and he was only wrestling for a couple of years. Like
I heard he's
he
an
had
assistant
charisma.
principal now.
Yeah, he's like a principal or some shit now.
I'm just cool. Can you imagine the questions you get?
He say he gets a lot, but I think he's the most what if. If you really go down about it, he's the most what if wrestler. What could have been
Mhm.
if that any of that shit wasn't happening, or even Vince McMahon just told him to take a year off there and just come up with something new. But that character was so good that even Vince McMahon knew there was no way
Or if they had just
it was
done
going to
it
When
change
they
it.
and
had
nothing had
people who actually
happened
dress as
until later.
terrorists, those
Yeah.
aren't terrorists.
For God's sakes, they killed them off, my dude.
No, I know that. I'm saying I think
Yeah.
that there's a world where if the attacks hadn't happened,
Hmm.
then the character he was,
Didn't
he
he
would not
pray to
be
Allah
he
to
would
beat the
yes,
Undertaker?
he
Oh
would
my!
not still
Hmm.
be that character today. That character doesn't
Oh
work
no,
in
no,
modern
it
wrestling.
wouldn't work. It wouldn't work.
But
But
he would have had more time to shift if he hadn't had outside world pressures
right,
to remove him from TV immediately. I agree.
right.
I was
Insane.
really good about this. I tried not to pick like 100 people because it's like 100 people. And I went with one that I knew no one else was going to pick, and I think I can defend really well. And that is Gail Kim.
Are you
Who the
fucking
hell is
shitting me?
that?
No,
Matt,
I
how do
know
you
Gail
not know
Kim.
who Gail Kim
I know
is?
Gail
I
Kim.
don't
I
know who
think
Gail Kim
she
is.
is exactly what she needed to be.
She is a pioneer of women's wrestling. Fact.
I don't know. I
She
don't know who
was
she is. I'm
Ryan,
sorry.
you
possibly
need to
one of the
stop.
she was
She
possibly
doesn't
one of the
even
most
have a
talented women
Wikipedia
on
page.
yeah, she
No,
does.
she does.
She
She
does.
does. I
I'll give
Where?
him
give
a
her.
I'm writing
she
Gail
does.
Kim. Galekim.
G A
No,
I
no,
L
JL.
G A I
Yes.
L K I M.
So Gil Kim.
Gail Kim. It's Gail, Gail.
It's pronounced Gail, but it's spelled
Gail. It
Gil.
is pronounced no, Gail.
Okay.
There's an A before the I, yeah. But yeah, Gail Kim. She was
I don't know who
one
the
of
hell.
the
I never
few
seen her
women on the
before.
roster who could
Oh,
wrestle
she's
at the
smoking
time that
hot.
she was wrestling. She
She's
that
married to
too.
Robert
That helps.
Irvin.
Mm-hmm. The
She
The
cook.
what's it
chef.
called?
Yep.
Yeah, when she got railroaded out of WWE. That was no fair.
That's not
And when
true.
she did, she showed up. Yeah, she should not have been cut from WWE. That's insane. She was one of the best wrestlers on their roster for the women,
The
like
first time
easily.
the second time she didn't get cut.
I'm
She
talking about the
left.
first time. She
Oh,
left, came back, and then left again.
yeah, she left. She came back and then she left again
Yeah,
because
but I'm
it
saying the
just
first
she
time she
wasn't.
should have never got lost her job.
Homie, she wasn't over. Like she's another
She was the
Raven.
best wrestler on the roster for the women. For the women, obviously, I'm talking about for the women at the time. But then she went to TNA and she turned that division upside down. She made the knockouts. I mean, there was a time when the knockouts division was the best women's wrestling in the United States, bar none. WWE had nothing compared to them. There was obviously no other main competitors. AEW, frankly, has still only barely scratched the peak of the TNA knockouts in terms of their, how high they got. And all of that was because of Kim. So, Gail Kim is absolutely one of the most important women's wrestlers ever. But people obviously, you talk about you go all the way back with your Moolah or your Mae Young, and then obviously you've got Lita and Trish and all these other people, and they're all very important. But then you start talking about Nikki Bella and all these. I'm like, no, Gail Kim is far more important. She's like Molly Holly, another one. They do not get enough credit for just how good they were at a time when they literally had no reason to be that good. It wasn't their job. You know what I mean? Like Stacy Keibler was a freaking legend around the same time, or is a legend now, and she was wrestling around the same time as Gail Kim, and she can't wrestle. She's bad at wrestling. She's never was good at it. But Gail was able to do it anyway. You know what I mean? To me, it's just totally underappreciated at the time. Still underappreciated looking back as they try and rewrite the history about women's wrestling as like this march to progress. And real shame because she really did have a huge impact on what we see as women's wrestling today. And a person of color, which is, was also uncommon at the time.
Canadian.
Hear that? Great
That's
work.
right. I came prepared for Gail.
Yeah,
all
but she's
right.
still trash.
Clearly.
I still don't know who the hell that is, but I'm sure later down the line. But you want to know one thing that isn't underrated? It's Magic Mind and the great effects that it does for all of us in this world who are smart enough to use it. And now we have to tell you why it has enhanced our lives, right, Ryan? What would you say is one of the things people should know regarding the great world of Magic Mind?
I mean, what isn't there to like about Magic Mind? Obviously we talk about how we utilize it. I take especially the nighttime ones. I'm a big fan of those. Helps me get to sleep at night. So when
I
I
got
wake
one right
up,
here.
I know I have one in my fridge. I have to grab it. But before I go to bed after recording, but helps you get a good night's sleep. You wake up, you're not foggy, right? You're not crashing like, because I used to take, Z-Quil and things like that. And you're all fuzzy when you wake up. If you wake up too early or whatever, and it's just no good. But this helps your body naturally fall asleep, wake up when it's supposed to, feeling rested. Obviously, you take the green shot, as it were, the daytime variety. Gives you all those boosts to mental clarity before your work day.
So good.
Yeah, and I'll say like one of the things that I really like about Magic Mind. I'm looking at both the cost, which obviously we're going to talk about, and that if you compare it to like, when you crash, you take a 5 hour energy, you get like a 2 hour boost, ever get five. And then it is what it is, right? Whereas like this, for like the same cost per day as like any other energy drink that you buy at the store, and you could buy Magic Mind at the store too, but then you don't get a cool discount. Um, you know what I mean? Like it's the same cost and it naturally helps your body do without the extra like boost. It's not like a booster. It's like it trains your body to do it itself using the holistic part of your body that is into that. But also like they send me now, I used the promo code. I got the stuff. They send me coupons and stuff now because I'm part of like the thing. And so like they're always looking for deals. They're always looking for the best way to give you as like the person buying a chance to have that better sleep, have that better clarity, have that better focus, and just overall give your body feeling better. And so I just really like working with Magic Mind as like not even like from this, right? But like as a consumer, because I like it when the people that I buy from frequently are sending me text messages with deals or sending me coupons in the mail with my deliveries and things like that. I like that because it shows that they value like me as a customer. They want me to keep buying, and not just because it makes them money, but because they know it works and they know that it's a mutually beneficial thing where obviously I pay them and they help me get to sleep and wake up feeling much better. So that's what I like. I think at this point, my favorite part about Magic Mind is how awesome they are. It's just like a company to be a consumer of,
Seriously. And they give great products. And whether it is the sleep aid shots, your regular daytime shots, your gummies, so much of variety that Magic Mind provides this great world of ours to enhance everything we do. And whether it helps me personally with my focus, my mental clarity, or just my attitude for the day, where I don't even need to hit the snooze button because I can get up and go and enjoy the great perks of this great product we have. And for all of you in the Productive Conversations Nation, we have a new link for you that is also included in our episode descriptions below. But to check out our brand new link with our exclusive deals, go to magicmind.com/PCMay. Magicmind.com/PCMay. That is PCMAY. And you can get 20% off your one-time purchase or 48% off your subscription. You want to take advantage of this deal as you can. It's not going to last forever. So get right on it and see all the great benefits that me and Ryan have had. Hopefully Jose and Allison will join us and all of you in the great audience of ours. So check it out and reclaim your brain with Magic Mind. Again, one last time, magicmind.com/PCMay for 20% off a one-time purchase or 48% off a subscription. So Now back to more underrated things. Jose, Allison, Ryan, tell me an underrated restaurant while I go let my cat in.
Okay. Or Jose, we're gonna start with you,
Like
man.
fast food?
Any restaurant.
Mm, Applebee's.
Applebee. You're gonna have to explain Applebee's because they are
Because you
straight
get that,
trash.
you bugging. You get that 2 for 1. It's nice on a date. You get two
Oof.
front entree,
Jose,
entree
you
to
taking
appetizer.
women to Applebee's?
Well, I'm gonna take them.
Not Applebee's.
Allison, are you
Listen,
are you an Applebee's girly? Do you love it when your dates take you to Applebee's?
No, I've never had actually lied. I've been on one date to Applebee's ever. And it
it
was
was
Did it
a
go
for,
well?
and it was like wasn't a
was
first date, it was like a few steps in date. So it was just like low key, but there were like half price apps. It was pretty
yeah.
good.
Thank you.
Aye, that's
Listen,
wild.
my job
It's not like
Applebee's is
my
there.
go-to, but
Applebee's is
my
there with Cheesecake
you
Factory.
have to
Once you turn
I
15
love
or
Cheesecake Factory.
16, you can't be taking people there.
you know why you take them there? Because the hotel nowadays, the smash is about $1.50. So you already know you gotta have $1.50 for just for the hotel. So if
What
I
does that
can
have to do
get
with Applebee's?
Because if you
because
have
you
the half
got
price
Applebee,
apps, then
half
you
of
save.
apps and entrees, it's cost me $40. So now I just gonna we're about to eat good,
Wait, are you
exercise,
homeless? You don't have a home
exercise. Why
to
I'm in a
take these?
brand of where I live? Are you crazy? You don't watch these Netflix documentaries and shit going
I have
down?
people coming to where
Stalking?
I live. It's horrible. Then they stalk you. It's really bad.
Yeah. Why am I
Oh my
doing that,
God. Well,
Ryan? You
stop doing
suck.
that to the stalkers, you freaking weirdos. You should be able to
I'm
bring
taking
home a
them.
date, you
I'm
know.
taking to a safe location, especially if it's a first date. They feel more comfortable. Like, God, Ryan, that's some crazy shit.
Feel
Hey,
more
come over to my
comfortable
house.
alone with a stranger in a hotel.
At a hotel, the public
Might
hotel,
be full.
sure. Do you think they're gonna feel more safe in someone else's house
I
where they
think they're
got
not
all
going to
the
feel safe with
advantage?
a stranger in public with their clothes
Well,
off
I think
anyway, to
I
be
think they're
honest
gonna
with you. But
well, if they're willing to take their clothes off, they're feeling some type of safeness. I'm
that's
making
right.
sure
And I
I
don't
have
think
the
the hotel's important.
proper
Yeah, we've fallen off the
safeness.
rails because Jose went with Applebee's.
Applebee's is an
Applebee's is
underrated
amazing.
restaurant. I
Yes, it
will say
is.
it is good. I
It's
underrated.
not good.
I feel like it's properly rated. There's some properly rated. I feel they do have some underrated deals.
Deal.
Thank
Everyone keeps
you.
talking
Thank you.
about the
I actually
deals.
agree
I
with you,
don't.
Jose.
The
Thank
I think
you.
deals.
If
We're
Applebee's
we're going with
does have good
deals,
food.
then like I would pick a Red Lobster.
no. You got.
I've never been a Red Lobster.
I have
Really?
actually.
They
Lobster
have like
amazing.
all you
You
can eat
I like the
shrimp,
soy.
like
you Mari,
and
kid.
yeah, calamari, like flounder,
Say
shrimp,
The
less.
biscuits.
everything. Their biscuits, their
Biscuits are
cheddar
good.
Did we
biscuits
say
are
anything
Biscuits are
else
bomb.
good.
besides Jose and Applebee's
No,
as an underrated?
we got sidetracked with the whole
We
Applebee's of it all.
he wanted me to explain why I said Applebee's. I said Applebee's, you get a deal. You get the 2 for 1 entrees. You get two freaking appetizer and a dessert, and you got
For
enough
20
money
bucks?
to go. Yeah, for like $20, $30, and you got enough money to go to this Super 8 and get it in and call it a day. You're done.
I mean, Outback Steakhouse does the same thing too with their deals. They do like
I like Outback.
their blooming onions good. They took that off the menu though, I think.
If I'm
Wait,
going to
did
go to
they?
steakhouse, if I'm doing a steak now, Blooming Onions is there. If I go to steakhouse, it's going to be either like a Peter Luger's or something like that.
Texas Roadhouse is good too.
So
I
These
love
are
that.
underrated spot. I feel like though that's
I
properly
feel like
yeah,
rated.
everyone. Yeah, listen. I think the Applebee's being on even a properly rated list is absolutely asinine. The food is terrible, but the other ones that you mentioned, I think, are properly rated.
I'm
So
sticking with Red
I didn't go
Lobster.
with the chain. I didn't go with the chain. I had to. The first one might not be underrated in like. Actually, I think it probably will be because I bet I got two Norwalkers here, and I'm probably not going to know what it is. I think Overton's, frankly, is underrated.
That's very local.
That
And
is
Overton.
that's
no,
so.
very yeah,
Overton's is
that's very
ass.
It's
trash.
not
With
ass. It's
Overton.
great.
It's so
It's
What is
trash.
that?
great. It's great. It's
Overton's
a
a
Very
burger
little,
trash.
place.
it's a little
It's
freaking crap that
great.
like you probably take a like a
See,
dumb
it's you know,
hoe.
it's you're letting the outside determine the inside. You get their fried scallops and stuff there. Come on, come
They
on.
give you
It's
a
great.
scallop. And the
They give you
worst
a
though,
bunch
I
of
will say one
scallops.
thing. The worst proportioned restaurant I've been to in the
Mm-hmm.
whole country.
Sure, I'll
In the
give you
whole
that.
Okay.
country.
You're right. Yes, they're not really
They
good
literally
at
give you
proportions.
two
No, that's
nuggets.
true.
I want chicken nuggets.
Well,
Here's your two
sometimes they'll give
nuggets.
you
And
more
they're
if they just
ass.
feel like it.
Sometimes they give you more if you order chicken nuggets at Overton's. I'm sorry, that for you. That's not my
But
fault.
yes,
I'm
it's a
not
very
count-
regional thing. But
I'm not
if
counting
you want to
chicken
see, I
nuggets.
definitely want to hear what other people would think of Overton.
Yeah, if you're from the area, let us know what you think about Overton's, okay? Because I'm kind of curious as well. But a place that I went to here, and it is a chain, although it's not that big here yet, but I've seen it in Boston, seen it in a couple other big cities, obviously DC. It's called Nando's Chicken. I don't know if anyone's had a Nando's Chicken.
Man, all fried chicken is the same, man. All
It's
fried
not fried
chicken is
chicken.
ass.
It's
I'm
not
just
fried
saying.
chicken.
I just want to put that
Well,
out
yeah.
there.
So Nando's Chicken is like African or Ethiopian, but it's fast food, right?
Ethiopian fast food
Some
chicken.
sort of like African chicken
What's it
thing, but it's fast
called?
food.
Dando?
Nando's,
Diando?
Nando. Then
That's a
apostrophe
very
S.
Italian sounding name.
It could be pronounced differently, but that's
Man, I don't want
how
this. I don't want this soup.
the soup. But no, I thought the chicken was good. It's again, it's a fast food place. It's apparently bigger overseas than it is here, but
Interesting. It's an Indian restaurant.
it's
Oh,
not Indian.
I'm just saying. Then I don't know. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong spot.
It's very possible you are, but Nando's Peri Peri, I think is the full name.
Okay. That's
But
what I have here. Okay, that makes more sense. So that was just some random place. This
yeah.
menu looks promising.
Yeah, it's good, and it's just not that big here yet. But apparently, like in London and stuff, there's like a bunch of them, and so I think it'll probably get bigger here. But it is very good, and again, it is a chain. It's in a bunch of
I
cities. We
do
have it
like
here
the
in
broiled
DC.
chicken. I'll give you that. I don't really like fried chicken as much as I used to,
Yeah, there are a lot of
but
different chickens. Yeah,
I'll take the broiled chicken. Like I like broiled
yeah,
chicken from like a Portuguese spot.
yeah, that's good too. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
like
yeah. So
okay, Ryan.
for a less regional, more national one, Nando's I think is my pick. It's going to be up and coming. It's underrated now, but it's going to get there.
Yeah. Did Allison go yet?
I said
I mean,
Red
she mentioned the
Lobster.
Red Lobster.
Oh, Red Lobster. Again, I haven't been tried it, so I can't
I
comment.
went to a Red Lobster. I loved it. It's
You
great.
may or may not
It
get
was a
food
fun date.
poisoning, but it's okay.
I did not.
That's a risk. Okay.
Underrated if you don't
So
get
my
food
two are
poisoning.
my two are chains, but I'd like to make a fight. Number one, excuse me. Red Robin is underrated.
Red Robin's
You're
Best
good.
bugging.
fries. Best fries. What do you mean I'm bugging? Amazing fries, juicy burgers. That's all you need with a Coke.
I haven't seen one beyond Wisconsin. actually.
Really? There.
Uh,
Come to think of it, yeah. Where was the last Red Lobster? Because I
Milford.
was in Jersey, at Milford. Because I used to go to one in Jersey when I lived over there. And yeah. So wait, Jose, you said I'm bugging. Why you think I'm bugging?
You're trash. I'll try that spot.
What are you talking about? It's
That's
better
why
than.
they
I
never
will say it
last.
is better than Applebee's. I'll die on this
Well, I
one.
mean,
You know,
yeah,
I got another
everything's
pick.
better than Applebee's.
I know I got another pick of a restaurant that's
Okay.
underrated. Twin Peaks.
see, the
Like the
only Twin
TV
Peaks
show?
I know of is
No.
in Alabama. The
Twin
Is it
Peaks
based
is
on the
chain?
show?
No.
They just happen to name a restaurant after a famous cult TV show,
No, the Twin Peaks was around before the TV show.
so they stole it.
Yeah.
Twin
Oh wait,
Peaks
hold
is
on.
Interesting.
Is Twin Peaks a chain or is it in one spot?
it's a chain.
Never heard of it.
They're Hooters competition. They're Twin Peaks.
Hooters. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Ah, Hooters. Someone
Okay.
saved Hooters, remember?
Yep. Thank
So
God for the peoples.
my other one, underrated. You can find it in the mall. California Pizza Kitchen.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, they have really good frozen pizza too.
Oh,
Underrated. What do you
I
mean?
mean, the frozen
It's
pizza
healthier.
I'm with you on the frozen.
I
Like
don't
if you
think
get it
frozen
from the
pizza-
store, frozen pizza, California Pizza Kitchen
Yeah.
brand, I'm with you there. But
There you
going to a California Pizza Kitchen
I love
in
California
almost
Pizza
any
Kitchen.
situation
I probably haven't been there in 10 years, but I still
is
remember really liking it.
insane. Now, I will say this. I don't know. I've not had pizza in California, I don't think.
Oh, I got another one that came to my mind, but I think they're defunct now. But I really loved Bertucci's when they were around.
Right.
I did. I
Oh.
like Bertucci's as
Bertucci's
well.
was very good. I don't think they're around anymore.
I don't think so either.
I remember one of the most significant girls in my life. The very last thing we did together was Bertucci's. So there's some sentimental value there. but I guess maybe I like the poetic justice of that ending and the relationship ending. But the bread was my favorite bread I've ever had at any Italian
Bertucci's is
spot.
good.
So maybe that's a little sentimental reason for that, but it was also really good food.
So I just wanted to quickly finish on the California. If you're near any group of Italians who own a restaurant, and I mean this with sincerity, and you choose actively to forego their restaurant for the California Pizza Kitchen, I'm sorry for you. That might be a worse choice than Domino's, because at least when you order Domino's,
Come
you
on.
know it's you know it's trash, you know it's
It's
crap,
one
and
of
you're
the
just
most
putting it into
aesthetically
your mouth.
it's one of the most
Yes,
aesthetically pleasing restaurants too. It's
sure.
beautiful
What the
in
hell's
there.
wrong with Domino's?
I mean, it's just bad pizza,
I
but
will
it's
say
fine. Like it's
I
bad
mean,
pizza
that
for
might be one
people
of
eat
my
it when they're drunk.
overrated for the overrated pot. It might be drunk or sober.
Well,
Domino's
yeah, I'm
sucks.
using Domino's as an example. I'm saying if you eat bad pizza because you are drunk and need bad pizza, fine. But Pizza
You
Kitchen
might
is
as well
not
let your
like
body
drunk
suffer
pizza. Right.
than add that disgusting poison.
Oh my
Jeez, wow.
God.
what
No
the fuck?
frozen, no fast food pizza chains are good. Literally not one. Little Caesars, fucking Domino's, Pizza Hut,
I like
all
Yeah.
gone.
Little
Jose helped
Caesars.
ruin Pizza Hut.
I like
I
Little
remember that.
Caesars.
There's nothing wrong with pizza.
Yeah,
Pizza
bro, you're the one of the
is
reasons
amazing.
why they suck.
Pizza Hut
They're gone.
in New Jersey, Pizza Hut was actually my go-to, like drunk needed something to eat
And
there.
that's why you moved away.
No.
Terrible
No,
food.
Pizza Hut. I'm
Yeah.
bugging. Pizza Hut is amazing. Those are the best time of my life.
Well, there's one down the road from me, which helped, but
Just make sure make sure they sanitize.
we knew them.
Jose
They were
didn't.
fine. They were
Oh, I
fine.
didn't. Yo,
Jose's
shit.
responsible for some E. coli outbreaks.
The shit I did at Pizza Hut.
Oh my God.
Okay.
You'd be
Get
surprised what girls would do for a free pizza. Tell you that right
Oh,
now.
jeez.
we'll do that on the X-rated Magic Mind
Yes.
pod.
Yeah, they'll love that.
How
They'll
about
love that.
underrated male singer?
Mm.
You know who's an underrated male singer? This
Who?
dude has bops on bops on bops. And
Sure.
he's one of my old TRL people that I worked with.
Oh.
Miguel. Miguel's
Oh, okay.
underrated.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Bro has that swag stage presence and some awesome bangers.
Yeah.
And my manager looks like him low key at Cole's.
No, that's a good one. I picked Vance Joy.
Who the hell is Vance Joy?
How is it
Is
possible that you've
is he
lived? You don't know the
I don't
song
know who that is
Riptide?
either.
I
No.
don't know who the hell he
Baby,
is.
come on down to the Riptide. Really?
Oh
Nope.
yeah.
Yeah, that song was on radio for like 972 years. But he's
That's
a
his
better
name?
singer than just the one. What?
That's his name?
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know that
Yeah.
person.
Anyway,
oh.
he obviously he's got more songs than that. I've heard him sing a few of the songs. I heard him do a cover of a Paul Simon song that he did really well. He's a super talented vocalist. It's kind of weird. He kind of looks like that Benson Boone cat. But for some reason, Benson Boone has exactly one song and is the biggest star on the planet, and Vance doesn't. Yeah, I mean, everyone knows Riptide, so people who aren't super familiar with his work, you all have probably heard at least that song. But yeah, no, he's actually a pretty good singer. He's got got some pretty interesting songs, and even when he's doing covers, I would say he does them very well. So that's kind of the mark of a good vocalist when you can sing someone else's song and it
Right.
still sounds good.
Absolutely real. I just have to share this. The Rizzler at the Thunderbolts premiere with some of the biggest movie stars ever. This dude
Oh.
is gonna have some story when it's all said and done.
But if he, what do you mean, that little man?
Yeah.
You
That
wearing a
makes
helmet?
sense.
My nigga, the way he's going, he'd be lucky if he gets to be have that some story where he's older.
Again, let's stay positive on this one.
Positive.
But,
That's why Ozempic is around.
so, yeah, I picked Miguel. Ryan picked somebody. I already forgot his name.
Oh my god.
Allison and Jose. Allison and Jose. Tell
I
me.
picked Ozzy.
I don't even know who's that. I mean, I guess that's the point of the show is we're supposed to learn about who's Bozzy.
He sings like the song 315's good.
315.
Mine. Renee's song. He has a
Again,
bunch.
is this an opener for T Swift?
Oh, why does
I
everyone think that?
I don't know who this is either, and I've picked some pretty interesting choices, but I've never heard of this guy.
I can send you guys some of this music.
I'll definitely have to listen. You said Bazzi?
Yeah, Bazzi.
Bazzi. Okay. Can't believe you guys have never heard of him, man. You guys all heard Riptide though,
I
right?
heard
That
Bozzy. I
song.
know who
No,
Bozzy is.
You
even
know who
Jose.
Bazzi is, but not the guy who
Mhm.
sings
Bozzy does
Riptide.
songs with like well, he has a few songs. He has like one with 21 Savage. He has one with
Mhm.
Black. I like Black too. He's a good artist.
His name's Black.
Well, so there's a 6 in front of it, but the 6 is technically silent, so it's like
Ah, yeah.
Oh,
six.
You
I've
know.
heard of that guy.
Yes,
Yeah.
Black.
Riptide by
Six.
Vance Joy.
Yes. You've heard the song, man. Everyone's heard the song. It was super popular like 4 years ago, 3 years ago, however many years ago it was. 20 something. Oh,
Uh,
goodness.
I mean,
my
I've heard of it. I won't maybe once, but I can't say it doesn't sound unfamiliar. But
Yeah, no, that's what I'm
whatever.
saying. Everyone has heard of the song. I know it.
Okay, Jose.
I was gonna say Louis
Oh,
Capalzi, whatever.
Capaldi?
Who's
Yeah,
God.
because
that?
No, great vocalist, dude.
if his Tourette's like
Oh,
didn't
that guy.
like
I'm sad I
didn't
know him as a Tourette's singer, and they have
yeah,
this. They
see
have
what I
the
mean?
singers,
But
and then they
he
have the
had
whole
like
crowd sing with
banger.
him.
He was coming, yeah. He had bangers after bangers in his first album. Then he came to the second album, and his sophomore album wasn't like whatever. But then he had that issue on stage, and like that was kind of it. Like he was done with.
Yo, he's a phenomenal singer. He's got that one song, right? I mean, he sings that so beautifully.
Interesting.
What the heck's the name of that song, Jose? It was
Um.
big for a while. It's like, and now the day bleeds, that one, and the
hmm
night falls.
Well, that's a
Trying to
good.
think of that.
Allison's to. Oh, you already said. Okay, now female singer.
Somebody you loved. Is the
Somebody
name of the
love. That's the name
song.
of that song. You're
Eh,
right.
All right,
Yep.
go.
I'm already bored with him.
You know
Female
what?
singer though.
You a hating
That is a
motherfucker.
hater.
Just kidding. Female singer though. I'm picking Janelle Monáe, who's
Yeah,
has
she's
some
good.
who knows what she's doing. I just wish the world saw her more because she not only can act, but she can fucking perform too. Janelle Monáe, that's your
Who the
pick.
who the
No,
fuck
she's
is she?
good. She's good.
You've definitely seen her before.
Yeah, with
Is
the
she
next
from
to
the
me
girl?
is
She's
she next
from
to me, right? She
she's
sings next to
from
me.
she's from Moonlight. She was
Yeah,
in
she's an actress too, yeah.
fucking Glass Onion.
Yep. She was good in that too, but no, I guess she's got a couple of songs. She did that, didn't she do the song with Labyrinth back in the day?
I don't know who's Labyrinth.
The song "Beautiful." Is that the song you're thinking of?
This is Janelle Monáe.
Yeah, no, I know who she is. Trying to go music to like be
I'm just
like
showing
listen to
Jose. This is Janelle Monáe. This was her very 2014 look.
Yeah, she was a sing like she did the what's it called? She did that one song with Next to Me, and I think she might even sing one of the other big 2014 kind of songs, you know what I mean? Like that era of music, she was big. But yeah, no, that's a good pick, Matt. I like that pick. Someone else should go real quick.
Her.
You said her?
Yeah.
Another good
Okay.
one.
That's a good one, Jose.
Thanks.
She's a good guitar player too. That I almost like her
That's why I
better
know her
for
more
guitar.
as
Yeah.
for guitars.
So mine, I'll say, is I think it'd be controversial. I there's two. One of them you've never heard of, so we're just gonna skip it, right?
Just
We've
tell the
already
name though. Can you just say
already
the name
done
though?
that bit. I mean, that person's like Haley Kiyoko or whatever her
Oh,
last name is.
exactly.
Yeah.
Who,
So anyway, great,
you are
great
like
singer,
the
great
Brooklyn
singer.
people I
Anyway,
hang out
that's
with all
right.
these
But that's not
indie
who I was
artists. I
gonna
don't know who
pick.
the hell
It's not who I
you're
was,
talking about.
she's a pop star, first of all. But second of all, not who I was gonna pick. I'm gonna go with, and you're gonna call me crazy, but I can defend this. Alanis Morissette.
I don't know who
Actually,
that
no,
is.
I completely agree with you, Ryan. Excellent take.
Yes.
In the sense that she should be bigger than she is. She's known
And
as like
she's
a
huge,
90
by the
star.
way.
Like she's
Yeah.
like predominantly like that 90 star, but
Yeah.
she is incredible.
And she did so much for music in general. Like, it's hard to overstate how big she frankly kind of was in the 90s.
Yeah.
And then the millennium changed, and all of a sudden she kind of got like put in like a has-been corner, but she had done so much.
Yeah,
Like, they just did a Broadway musical of only her songs.
that's right.
Like, there are
Jagged
people who've
Little
never,
Pill.
yeah, and that album is one of the best albums anyone in any genre has ever
Completely
released
agree.
at any point in time.
Completely
And
agree.
so she's
And do
got
I
so
really
many
like
credits. I'm sorry.
what was it? Was it? And do I really like that song? It's like, am I really like the Jagged Little?
Oh, the Jagged Little Pill. Yeah. No, I
It's
mean,
like
she's got, obviously everybody knows Ironic, right? Everybody knows that one.
Mhm.
you ought to
And
know.
then You Oughta Know is another big one, but Uninvited is a creepy song, but it's kind of cool.
Oh, all I really
Um,
want. That's what. And all I really want is some
and
bacon in a ladder. And all I really want.
I didn't realize
Why
that Matt
did
was
her
gonna
career
love it.
fall off?
Because that's exactly my point. She was like on top of the planet, and then it just kind of
I bet you
stopped.
one powerful Netflix doc, she'll skyrocket
Brings it
again.
back.
I think it takes one major Netflix doc that she'll go on an arena tour again. I
I
assume
don't
she
know,
still
but
performs.
does she like that anymore? Does she want to?
Well, she's performing at
No.
like the Oyster
I mean,
Festival now. That's the level
yeah,
she's at. And
yeah,
Alive at 5, with all
Alive
due
at Five,
respect.
yeah.
well, Live 5 is gone, so she ain't gonna be performing there anytime soon. But ain't she more known for like nowadays for dating Ryan Reynolds? Was that her?
She did,
She
but I don't know if
dated
she's known
Joey
for
from
that.
Friends,
It's
right?
Joey from no, no, no,
Not
no,
Friends. Oh God,
no.
Uncle Joey from
Uncle Joey
Yeah,
from
who's
Full House.
Full House.
Coulier, David Coulier.
Yeah.
that's who you ought to knows about.
Yeah. Also, Head Over Feet is genuinely a sweet song. If anyone
Head
hasn't heard
over
it,
feet.
Head Over Feet. It's also on
And
Jagged Little
Thank You is
Pill.
a good one too.
Yep. But I think that if you're looking for like a genuinely sweet song that's kind of different from the
And all
You
I
Oughta
really
Know
want.
of it all, right? That's one I really like. That one that one makes me smile. That song alone is just like her. She has so much range even in just one album. So yeah,
Good,
Alanis Morissette.
good, good, good. Now your underrated TV show is. Then one more after that. Then we'll call it a night.
My underrated TV show is a show called Private Practice.
What?
Someone has had
That's like the Grey's Anatomy, like prior. It like goes into Grey's
spinoff.
Anatomy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Silly.
It is significantly
And
better than Grey's Anatomy.
Grey's Anatomy is an overrated show too. Can't believe all you people go
I
head
think
over
the
heels.
newer
They,
seasons are. I don't
they
think
literally are all the same episodes. Whoa, who is Grey going to try to save today?
Right. Well,
Oh,
so
not
no,
this
but here's
time.
kind of so here's
Who's
what I'm
Dr.
saying.
McDreamy? The end.
So
dead.
again, Grey's Anatomy is overrated. I agree. One of the
Thank
most
you.
overrated shows on TV. Private Practice is what would happen if Grey's Anatomy was a
It was
good TV
good.
show. Yeah. It was a spinoff. They took a random character that they had to get rid of. They put her on a cast with Taye Diggs, and they made a show. And it takes place in
Interesting.
California. They have, again, private practice. It's small office, and it delves into their interpersonal lives like Grey's Anatomy does. But the difference is they're not doing it in the middle of a freaking hospital while there's patients everywhere. They don't have as many catastrophes all happening within the same block of Gray Sloan Memorial. It's like it is just a better show all around. It's better written, and most importantly, Shonda, it has an ending. You ended it. You said, "Wow, what a beautifully complete story I told," and then
I'm
you
done.
let it go. That's what Grace needs. You're choking it out. Let it end. Just let it end.
Exactly. Let it end. What the hell else she's got to do?
But Private Practice is, if you ever want to know what would have happened if Grey's Anatomy ended when it should have, watch Private Practice because it's a great show. Shonda writes it well. It is a Shonda Rhimes show still. In her character,
Jeez,
Dr.
did
Addison,
they have a
whatever
private
her last name
practice?
is. Yeah, they do have a Private Practice, but it's a great show.
All
Great show.
right. Take your word for it. Malcolm in the Middle is an underrated show. Malcolm in the Middle doesn't have one bad episode. Some of the most clever writing I've ever seen. Some of the most impactful, powerful acting I've ever seen. All their side characters are fun to watch, where you could have 2-hour compilations on just side characters. And Frankie Muniz literally is the face of a millennial generation. Like, you think of early 2000s, Frankie Muniz is right there, and he seemed to handle the fame as well. Such a great show. They're
He handled it.
it off.
Well,
Yeah.
He handled the fame very well.
What is he dead? Is he a
quit.
fucked
That
up head?
motherfucker bounced, ran off, quit.
Yeah, that's handling well. That's better than fucking
well, yeah,
other
taking
people.
drugs or whatever. Yeah.
God.
So
that we know of.
Can I make a counterpoint, Matt?
Okay.
And the counterpoint, by the way, is not this. I agree with everything you just said. I just disagree with it being
Also very
underrated.
memeable.
Yeah, and my only disagreement is that I don't think it's underrated. I think it's properly rated as an excellent show. And the reason why, and this is true. So my brother, over his he's a teacher, so over break, right, went to a race. And now I don't know if you know this, Frankie Muniz is a race car driver.
That's right. That's what he is.
So
A real professional NASCAR
He's a professional race
driver.
car driver, yeah. And so they went to this race, and my brother had passes, and so they were in the pits, and they got to see the race from the pits, which is cool. And they're like, let's see if we can get some pictures with the drivers. And now my brother is not a big TV guy. He's not a big movie guy. He's not. You've met my brother. I can't say his name, but you met my brother. He's not like that. So Frankie Muniz comes up, and obviously my brother knows who Frankie Muniz is. My brother's
Frankie
friend
Muniz comes up to your brother.
well, walks by, right? Walks by.
Okay.
And,
I was gonna say,
and so
is that
he sees
Colin?
right.
Oh,
yeah,
sorry,
no. So he sees Frankie Muniz, right? So
Okay.
he's there, and the other person, again, very similar to my brother in terms of what they do and don't know, also sees him. So they're there. They ask for a picture. Frankie Muniz says, sure. They took a picture. My brother texts it to the family group chat and says, we put Malcolm in the middle because it's Frankie Muniz, my brother on one side, and his friend on the other side. And I'm like, to me, if my brother, and I know him well, if my brother has that locked into his subconscious, then the show's not overrated. If my brother can pull a Malcolm in the Middle joke out of nothing, I don't believe he's seen a single episode of that show.
You could also say that could help the underrated argument too, in a way, in the sense of, well, I don't know. I need to hear more stories like that.
Yeah, that's my counter argument.
That is a fair point. I do think that's a
rated.
fair point. But I think more people should talk, like the way you people talk about The Office and Friends. Those are overrated shows. You need to talk about Malcolm in the Middle like that.
I don't like The Office.
Good. That's why you're smart.
Fuck.
I mean, Office is funny, but I don't.
The
Friends,
Friends is like, I'm absolutely stunned how many people you think Friends is a cleverly iconic written show.
What's an iconic show?
It's
so, it was so big.
Fine,
at the
right
time,
place, right time, fine,
Yeah.
but nowhere the quality. I'm just saying Malcolm should be talked about like those shows in terms of the
I see
underrated.
that. I see that. I see what you're saying.
And I mean, Bryan Cranston, between Hal and Walter White, like that is literally the definition of range. Literally.
For sure.
And then Jane Karismeric as a mom, like brilliant
She's
too.
great. Yeah.
There you go. Good stuff. Allison Jose's your underrated shows?
What, Allison? I'm dying.
So I have one
The Taylor Swift show.
What?
Okay, now I'm just trolling.
No, it's called The Society on Netflix.
Good show.
I've never seen or heard of it, but
So
I'll take your word
it
for it.
has one season, and they were gonna renew for a second, but then it got canceled, and now someone's trying to like hopefully pick it up again. But basically, like one day, all like these all the teenagers, like everyone goes to sleep or something, and then they wake up and all their parents are gone, and then they have to like basically create like new rules of a society to like live essentially, and like it's just I don't know how else to.
It's like if 90210 met Lord of the Flies would be how I would describe it. Obviously all the teams
that's not Yellow Jackets.
Well, no, it's similar to Yellow Jackets actually in a lot of ways, but it was before Yellow Jackets. Society was many years before Yellow Jackets. And also the premise is different. There's no like Lost in the Woods or whatever. But no, I like the Society. I would have liked to see the next season. I think I will say this, Allison, just my personal opinion. I think that the second season probably could have tanked the whole show.
So
Yeah.
I feel like they were really, really by the end of the first season, they were running out of what they thought the story would be. Now they've had many, many years to think about it, and so maybe whoever picks it up has got like a perfectly good way to continue it forward. I don't know how, given that everybody who was a teen in the show is now an adult with like, jobs and whatnot. But no, yeah, I agree. The Society was a super interesting concept. It was like a teen drama meets a literary classic in like Lord of the Flies. It was like an almost an updated version of that, which I thought was an interesting. Again, obviously there's multiple genders and it's not exactly Lord of the Flies, but it had a similar vibe to it. And there's other books like that, but that's just the one that I like.
Also, the show Dark on Netflix.
Another good one. That's the German one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's like a little weird because the wording is off with like the
yeah.
and stuff. So if you can get past that, then like yeah, it's really, really good.
Yeah, if you can get past the dub being different words, like the person who's saying it in German, their mouth is moving German, but then they have a voice actor doing the American dub, and so it doesn't always line up. But other than that, it's an interesting show for sure.
Very interesting.
I'll throw in before we get to Jose, another Netflix show that I think is very irreverent, has 2 seasons, probably doesn't need another one, but could have done with a third, if we're being honest, is The Politician. The Ben Platt, like that Ben Platt vehicle right after Dear Evan Hansen, where they tried to make him a actual like actor person, not Broadway. That was again an irreverent show. It's kind of like a weird. What would happen if the guys who wrote it's almost like what would happen if the guys who wrote House of Cards had to write Parks and Rec? You know what I mean? Like, and they didn't have any time to prepare, so they had to just take House of Cards and put it in the style of Parks and Rec. It's like, again, it's an irreverent show. I like it, and so that's another Netflix one that went away too soon, my opinion.
Okay. Jose,
My
finish
God,
this off.
yes. Underrated show is Euphoria.
Underrated?
We knew that
Underrated.
was happening.
First of all, not only is that wrong, nobody actually thinks it's underrated. Nobody, a
Only
lot
is
of you
it
think it's
wrong.
overrated as hell.
Well, yeah, a lot of people think it's great. Yeah, exactly.
And you that's why you show that none of you know how to watch a TV show properly.
Or my true number one pick, instead of trolling, is The Good Doctor.
Really?
Heard of it, I haven't seen it, so again.
I
You
like
like
The
that
Good
show,
Doctor.
huh?
Hype
Yes,
that
I
show
did.
up.
I don't
I
love
loved
that
it.
show.
I didn't like it towards the end, but the first couple seasons
And
was
I'll be
really
It
good.
honest,
actually shocks me that you like that
One of
show.
one of
I
the
know, right?
stupidest scenes from Euphoria
Well,
is the
fun. Oh, go ahead.
is the Maud Apatow singing the fucking Stand By Me with the guy, rest in peace, Angus. That was one of the corniest, most mind-numbing, song-ruining, legacy-ruining scenes I've ever seen. And I'm disgusted by that Sam Levinson. That
wow.
Nepo baby should not get a big budget
Going
in
back,
anything.
going back to Jose's pick. I am a huge fan of every single person who's like, if you're a West Wing alum, I will watch at least 3 episodes of your next TV show. Matt, true or
Love it.
false?
Yeah,
Right?
or a movie.
Right. Yeah. If you were in the West Wing for any period of time that I can recall, which I've watched it many times, so I can mostly recall everybody, I will give just about anything you've ever done, anything on your filmography, I will give it a try, either a couple episodes or, first half if it's like a movie to see if it's any good. And so that happened for me in The Good Doctor. What's his name? Richard Schiff plays the older doctor. The
Mhm.
I forget that guy's name. He's the old actual doctor for the young guy who is the good doctor, right?
Mhm.
And I watched the first 2 episodes, and I said, "Ugh, I don't think I'm gonna like this," and so I stopped. So maybe I'll have to give it another watch. But yes, that's a fun fact about me as a TV watcher. If you were in the West Wing at any point in time, I've paid money to watch your other stuff. So you're welcome
He'll
to
see key
all of
grips what
them.
they were in, what they've been up to.
I mean, no, I don't know who they are. You got to be one of the actors, I will
Rob
say.
Lowe. You watch
I know.
everything Rob
Hey,
Lowe
you know what
does.
show I didn't like? No. Oh, yes, I watched Rob Lowe's show with his son. I actually like that one, the Netflix one. Where he's like an Elon Musk type. But you know what show I didn't like? Even though Martin Sheen of all people, I mean, I love Martin Sheen. He was in it. I didn't like Gracie and Frank.
Really, I haven't seen it, but that has a
Yeah,
pretty
and
legendary
that had
cast.
2 West Wing alum.
Wow.
They were married to each other in it.
Okay, last but not least, the movie. I want to go last on this one, but tell me an underrated movie.
Ooh, underrated movie. This
That's
was
hard.
actually one of my harder ones. Because
I have
I
a
was like,
serious and then I have like a funny one.
okay.
Okay, so the serious one, I would say 7 pounds with Will Smith.
Oh, Jesus. That movie
7 pounds?
sucks. I'm sorry.
You really didn't like that movie?
No, I didn't. Oh, that was a
7 pounds to me
melodramatic.
was Seven
That was
pounds
a
was like where his
melodramatic
career
waste of
fell off.
time.
I
Yeah.
thought it was like a super touching movie. I don't know.
Man, it really shows all you need is some sentimental music and somebody to seem serious. You could trick anybody thinking that's good. Like people
No
get mad at
needed.
me.
It was
I'm
so
sorry.
good.
I'm sorry. If you like that much, fine, but I don't like it.
Fine.
Same way, I'll piss people off right now. Overrated movie, Click. You people are nuts thinking that's a good movie.
Nah, it's
You're
one of, that's a
you're
good one.
insane.
So
That's a
long.
good one.
You're
No.
We'll fight
insane.
about that next
Again.
time. We'll fight about that next time.
Like I said, all you need is sentimental music and somebody to act serious, and you could trick
Click is
anybody to
good.
think it's good.
Click is good.
No, it's not.
Yes. Anyway, that's not what we're
and
talking
then
about, though. We're not talking overrated. We're talking underrated.
And then my other one, which was like the funnier one, is I don't know if you've seen the movie Accepted.
Yeah, I'll give you
love
that
that
one.
Is that
That
the
is
one with
underrated.
I
the
love that movie.
That
Where
is
Ask
a
Me
great
About My,
hot
is
dog
that that guy?
costume.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's about
okay.
them making
About
up their
my
own
leader.
college, South Harmon
Yeah.
Institute
So
of
funny.
Technology.
I do remember that
Yeah,
one. Yeah, it's a
I
good
love
one.
that movie.
South Harmon Institute of Technology, and one of the
Shit.
most, I feel like the ultimate way to show how nerdy guys feel trying to flirt with a hot girl when she goes, Blake Lively, can you mow my lawn? What the fuck? that no wonder why people get their confidence shot when something like that happens.
That was
But
a good
that's
one.
a
I do like
great
that
pick,
one.
Allison.
That's a good pick.
I love that movie.
Great pick, Allison.
That's a good
with
pick.
Accepted.
I also had two. I've had a horror movie called Babadook. I don't know if anyone has
The
seen it.
Babadook.
Actually.
It's a good horror movie.
Okay.
It's like these two brothers. It's based on like an old like
Who's in
folk
it?
tale. The dude from Walking Dead is one of the kids.
And the Babadook. This is a very cinephile thing of you, Ryan. A 2014 Austrian horror film.
Yeah, right. But it was
Some
good.
people say it's one of the best horror movies.
Yes,
though.
it's a very good horror movie, specifically a horror movie. But I had another choice because you know me, I'm a man of two sides. I like my horror and I like my irreverent kind of comedies, coming of age, the whole nine yards. And so another movie that I remember really liking, and I watched it again recently, and I liked it less, but I'm still gonna say it's underrated, was Staten Island Summer.
Never seen it.
It's got Cicely Strong. It's got that kid who's in a bunch of stuff. He was in the Good Wife. He was in the Blockers movie. He played the boyfriend. I think his name is Graham. I could be wrong.
Written by
but-
Colin Jost, huh? Graham
Yes, it
Phillips,
was-
Zach
Yeah, Graham
Perlman,
Phillips. And
Ashley Green. Pretty good cast.
it's got a pretty strong SNL tie to it. Like it feels like SNL was running through the whole thing. It's obviously a New York thing. Coming of age, lifeguard, going to college,
Yeah,
whole nine
this
yards.
is like American
Very
Pie,
good.
but in Staten Island. From what
Sort
I'm
of,
reading.
yeah. It's not quite as raunchy as that, but yes. And so again, I would say it's kind of it's obviously for more an adult audience, but if you're looking for something a little bit more lighthearted and irreverent, you don't have to watch American Pie or Wet Hot American Summer again. Definitely check out Staten Island Summer. It's underrated. It's right up there, in my opinion, with those two in terms of the themes and like the way it's written is frankly better than both of those movies. And it's got like the same vibe. So
Okay. Now, Jose.
God damn. First one, Marley and Me.
What you
I
think?
like that movie.
Underrated?
You
I
think
like
it's
that
an
movie.
It is
underrated
underrated.
movie?
I
It
feel
is
like
I haven't
underrated.
seen, but I've heard a
Over.
lot of people think it's like I've heard it's properly rated.
I could see underrated actually. I might be with you on this one, Jose.
Again, I haven't seen it, so I can't say
It's so
much.
Well,
sad. No,
So bad?
I said sad.
Oh,
Oh.
sad. I was about to say.
But I
I
will
will
say,
say
how
the movie-
what
The movie
mental
A
health.
Dog's Purpose is sadder than Marley and Me. I think.
I have to say though, for movies about a pet, or that you know they're gonna die? What makes them different and stick out? You adopt the pet, you love them, they die. End of
Yeah.
movie. How are these
Yes.
movies? How do these
Oh, and
movies
the
stick
dog's
out?
Oh, fuck.
purpose, like they
Well,
don't.
it's the
Okay.
acting. It's
Yeah.
the
Oh, the
acting
acting.
in
The
the
acting
movie.
is so good to make it stick out.
I mean, some of them, like in Marley and Me, I would say yes.
What was
So
that
you know
movie?
what it is? You know what it is? It's just because fucking Matt's a cat person. That's what it is.
I'm
Oh
not
man,
a
I have a
cat
cat.
person. I just
You're a
happen to have a
fuck.
cat.
You got.
I love all animals.
You don't
If I could, I would
understand
have
the
a dog right
bond.
now,
You
but
don't understand the bond
I
of
do.
a
I have
guy
had
and
a
a
dog. I've had
dog.
dogs before, and I love
Well,
my dogs. I love animals.
Right there.
I really love all animals. I'm
and
probably
the
not gonna
dog.
get another
I
dog till I have a
love.
serious girlfriend. I will say that because it's
See,
easy.
See,
Larry,
that's the opposite.
That's a big commitment.
Me and
Larry
my
just
dog.
hangs out. It's the
You,
easiest deal.
Cats are
me.
way easier than dogs, 100%.
See, I love dogs because now it's like me and my boy Cody. We good. I don't need no chick. I got Cody by my side. We good.
Again, I
I
love
snatch him
all
and go.
animals. I'm not
See,
against dogs. I just wondering,
Bruce,
trying to think the difference of like again,
It's the
like what's that
bond.
movie?
It's
See,
the
Frankie
bond. It's
Muniz. Didn't we
different.
watch? I'm sorry, Jose. You were saying?
But it's the bond of the movie. You see yourself in the eyes of what the movie was, going the ups and downs of a new puppy and seeing them grow and seeing the balance that the perception they give you and the things you don't understand at that moment until when it's time for them to pass and you realize all the years went by and they were so much of a bigger impact than what you realize.
Damn,
That's the
I'm gonna
what's the
pick a
great about the movie.
Jose. Are
I
you
mean,
serious?
Jose, the
oh,
part.
that was very
Jose,
good,
that's
Jose.
really good. The
Thank
part
you.
of the
Exactly.
movie when he's in the vet with him and he goes,
Right,
"Remember how I said you were a bad dog?" And he's like, "Don't
right.
think that for a second, because you were the best dog."
It's like
I,
my
the
puppy
pet
now.
It
movie
is a good
genre is
movie.
one I do not understand. I mean, I understand, but it's
I
the
say
same
this.
thing over and over and over again.
It's like with my puppy right now. My
I'll tell
puppy
you
bites the shit out of me, pisses everywhere.
the one animal movie I liked and haven't seen it in literally
You
25
probably like
years
it's
What,
probably
is
King
Bambi.
Kong?
what's that? Homeward
Bambi.
Bound, where the three animals get lost with Michael
Yeah,
J. Fox. That's the one I
that's a
like.
funny one.
No
I like
What
dog,
that
is
no
one.
it?
animal has to die at the end. It's predictable, is what I'm saying. These pet
Well,
movies.
yeah, you get a dog, the dog dies, and it taught you a lesson. Yes, no, I
Yeah,
understand what
exactly.
you're saying.
I need something
But
different, and
sometimes you,
that's where Homeward
sometimes,
Bound is funny. They
but
just
yeah, they just
dumbass
make it.
animals hang out. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they make it home. No, I think, but then
Even that movie's
you
bad
get
probably
bad.
now as an adult.
But then you get to like the Marmadukes or whatever, and those are horrible too. I feel like sometimes, yeah, a pet movie is hard. So that's why it's like when somebody does one that doesn't absolutely just, suck, it's underrated, frankly. And I think that's where
Yeah.
Marley and Me is. It's like, yes,
Okay.
it's the same movie that you've seen a couple other times, but they actually did it good. As opposed to everybody else who didn't. And I've not seen A Dog's Purpose. I have
Oh
to
my God.
imagine,
I
based on what
remember
I've
dog.
heard people say.
I have a connection with a girlfriend on that one, but
Yeah, I have to imagine,
bad
based on what people
movie.
say, it's similar to
I
Marley and Me, but
cried so hard during A Dog's
So
Purpose.
the only difference is this dog was named Johnny and this dog was named Marley. That's the difference between
I
those.
don't know. I've never
Again.
seen the other one, but yeah. I think that you're discounting how similar all these movies are. So for one of them to
Yeah.
stand out means it should be
Did
rated
it only
higher.
stand out because they had an A-lister, Owen Wilson? That's the difference.
No, I mean, I think that helps.
Yep,
but no.
it is. It's the difference.
No,
That's the only
well, yeah,
difference is who
but
you have
he's a
acting.
better actor too. Like he's a better
Mhm.
actor than a lot of the people they get for these movies. Because they did one with what's his name, Dennis Quaid, who's also a good actor.
You know what?
But
I'll
he's
give
not
you
as good as Owen Wilson.
You know what's actually a different one? Beethoven. That Beethoven franchise. That's
Yeah.
different. That's what I like.
The dog that
And
just
another.
struck every-
Here we go. Another one. Turner and Hooch. Dog
Turner
doesn't
and
die.
Hooch is
So
a-
there you
Turner
go.
and Hooch
Beethoven
is a
doesn't
good
die,
one.
does he?
No, Beethoven doesn't die.
I
Wait,
was
Turner.
gonna
Turner.
say he doesn't die.
Oh, he does. He gets shot.
What?
Turner and Hooch, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
I was like, Beethoven doesn't get shot.
I
No,
know. I'm
Beethoven
saying
the
they're
dog
just
doesn't.
different.
But in Turner and
Oh,
Hooch, the dog does die. That's a great
I'm
movie.
like,
But it's
did I
different.
miss
But
a
it's
movie?
different. Exactly. So
Tom Hanks too, by the way, who's like you wouldn't expect to be in a movie with a dog, but he was.
that's what I'm saying, though. I just need something different if you're gonna do a pet genre movie, and those are
Cujo.
different and fun. So
Cujo.
Life
Oh,
of Pets
well,
is good.
I was gonna say my second movie was Striptease, but
striptease. First of all, no, that movie sucks too. That movie does suck
Yeah,
with
drugs. And he
Demi
finally
Moore.
gets her to fight to get her daughter back. Bugging.
I
My
Striptease
think Marley.
God.
I
is
think
You're
Marley and Me was a
confident.
better call, in my opinion. But
Striptease is ass. All you just get is literally in her prime, Demi Moore being sexy. That's the
that's pretty
movie.
good though. I mean,
If you
Did you
want to
watch
jerk
they've
off,
Striptease?
sold
Oh my
movies for
god.
worse. You know what I mean?
Did you watch
it has
Striptease?
what? Hear this. It won 6 Golden Raspberry Awards, including Worst Picture.
It won awards.
It
It
won
Yeah,
wins
awards.
for
The
yes,
awards.
award-winning
for how
movie
bad it is.
Striptease.
I'd rather win award than no award, all right?
13% of Rotten Tomatoes, the consensus.
I've seen
Yeah,
Strip
worse.
Matt, I'm with you on this. But Marley and Me, I disagree. That was a good one, but this was not a good choice.
Striptease can't decide whether it was a lurid thriller or a sexy satire, which becomes a moot point as it proves disastrously incapable of pulling
Of
off
doing
either.
either, yeah. I was about
But
to say,
according to
based on
Jose,
those two options, it
perfect.
somehow managed a third different option of neither.
Listen, I try to remember that movies are for the audience, but still. He won Worst Picture, Worst Director, Worst Actress as Demi Moore, which she got twice
Demi Moore,
that
yeah.
year.
Nice.
Worst Supporting Actor nominee Burt Reynolds. Worst Screenplay.
Reynolds?
Worst Screen Couple. Worst Original Song. Pussy, Pussy, Pussy. Whose cat are you? That's the name
Sounds
of the
like an
song.
amazing song.
I can't.
Yeah,
This is
You
it
nuts.
sounds like Taylor should sing that.
You know, I once had a crazy debate. The movie That's My Boy from Adam Sandler and Andy Samberg, which is a disgrace.
bad movie.
And I will give credit to this guy I was debating with. All he said, I just pointed out, how could you watch this piece of shit? And he said, I just love the movie. I just love the movie. I was like, there's genuinely some disgusting things I can't unsee. There's terrible acting. They got a stupid Rex Ryan cameo. But
No,
all he
that I will
said,
defend the Rex Ryan part
fine,
of that.
I'll give you. It was so stupid, it was good. I'll give you
Yes,
that.
Rex Ryan was the best part
He
of that
was
movie
he was
by a
probably reading a
considerable
cue
amount.
card.
Yes, probably, and it sounded like it as well.
All right, so you three
I
picked.
love that. I'm gonna rewatch just that.
You three picked underrated movie, right?
Yep.
All right, mine. I got 2. You are going to love these 2 picks. Number 1, They Live. John Carpenter's They Live, starring Roddy Piper,
Mhm.
Keith David, in an amazing satire and pretty much predicted what's going on in our world now.
Yeah.
With quotable, corny lines, with one of the best fighting scenes I've ever seen, and hella entertaining. It's only like 89 minutes, so quick one. Number 2, and trust me, you should watch this. You would all love this. The Coen brothers' second ever film, Raising Arizona, with Nicolas Cage and what's her name? She's so cute too, and very well
The little
accomplished.
kid, right? Was she a little kid or no?
No, she wasn't a kid.
Wasn't there a kid in that movie?
No, Holly Hunter was. There's legit action, good drama when needed be, very funny, hilarious, well directed, great screenplay. Raising Arizona is a must see. And very good. I just love the meta stuff, and you guys got to see it. You got to see Raising Arizona. I don't think any
yeah,
of you
definitely
saw it
will.
with the division.
No, I thought I had, and then I was like, you kept talking about who was in it and what it's about, and I'm like, no, that's not the movie I'm thinking of. So I'll have to figure out what movie I'm thinking of because it's Nick Cage and a child, and I don't know what that movie is.
Yeah, and it's about a fast-paced farce about an unlikely pair who go on extreme lengths to have a child. It's basically they steal a kid to
maybe
have
it
on
is
their
that
own.
movie,
It's a big
then.
chase. So,
Yeah.
but hella entertaining. Hella entertaining.
You know what's an interesting movie that I'm going to throw out before, and Matt, I'm sure you have another one, so you can have the last one.
No, those are my 2 I have. I mean, I could go all
Okay.
day in underrated movies.
Yeah.
But
Have you
All
ever
That Jazz
seen-
is another one. Watch that one. It's
have you
hard to
ever seen
find, but
the
watch it.
remake of Fun with Dick and Jane?
I haven't seen either of them, but I know that Jim
So-
Carrey is in the remake, right?
With what's her name? Tia Leone. It's an insane cast. It does not make sense, and it's such a funny movie. I highly recommend people watch that one. I mean, it's so funny, and it's a remake, and it's good. I think it's a good remake too. But
Yeah, Fun with Dick and Jane, Tay Leone and Jim Carrey are just so freaking funny. It doesn't sound like that should work, but it really does.
All right, we'll take your word for it. Ryan, Jose, and Allison, I appreciate the debate on what's underrated in our world. Like I said, in a few weeks, we will do the overrated
Overrated.
podcast, very same subjects, but what's overrated about them.
Okay.
So we'll see you soon. One more show this week. We'll see you on Friday with another tweet cap, and we'll see you all very, very soon. Great job, everybody involved tonight.
See ya.
Yeah.